Three humble guys on a podcast, giving hot takes, talking about sports and shit. Baby, this is the name on the front. Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little name is gonna be on the front. Let's hit it. A little nice. Bob Marley this time. I incorporated our bio into it.
That was nice.
Too. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Very good. Do we just want to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's get right into this.
Yeah, what else do we do?
I didn't know if anyone had anything they wanted to get off their chest off the top. But
the airing of grievances. We're in Festivus now.
I guess we don't have any grievances to air.
No, not really.
I don't want to start with NFL.
No?
Oh, there's a grievance right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to start with the Jays because the playoffs are coming.
That's fair. I actually was gonna ask before if we should start with the Jays.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So the Jays are 1 win away from clinching as of
one
last
win
night.
or one Mariners and Angels
Okay,
loss. Yeah, their magic number is 1.
Yeah, the magic number is 1.
And
So
they got the big gun going tonight on the mound.
Yeah.
Hyunjin Ryu against the Yankees.
Who's pitching? Montgomery's pitching for the Yankees.
and we gave the Yankees a little taste of their own medicine last
Yeah,
night.
the Yankees have been slapping us around
And
lately.
we had to slap them
And
back.
we gave
So
them a little slap
I've
back.
got an airing of grievance to air here. So I bet on Teoscar Hernandez to get more than 1 total base. So he had 1 going into that last inning.
Like you online bet?
Yeah.
You made you made an
we don't
account?
need to get into that.
Yes. You're a degenerate?
We don't need to get in. I got a guy.
I like it.
So Teoscar, he has his 1 hit going into the 9th inning. The Yankees bring out their catcher to pitch because their backup catcher, not even their starting catcher. Eric Kratz is on the mound. Teoscar's in like the 5 hole, so he's not even guaranteed to get in a bat. And this guy gets up there and he's like throwing knuckleballs. He was like legitimately throwing a knuckleball, and he gets, I think Danny Jansen went yard off him, and then he struck everybody else out, or got everybody else out, and Teoscar ended the game in the on-deck circle.
Wow.
So I was a little bit shook about that this he has the audacity to go up there and start throwing knuckleballs.
How about the audacity by Danny Jansen to hit 2 jacks when everybody wants
know.
Alejandro Kirk to start? Everybody wants it.
Danny Jansen was feeling the pressure. I don't mind that. Have both your catchers
I don't
breaking.
either. I was just I was trying to use it as a segue to get into Alejandro Kirk talk.
So Alejandro Kirk looks like a square.
Yeah.
He's like La Tortuga.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I think he's like,
Tortuga's shorter.
yeah, but I think Kirk is heavier.
Tortuga's like
Yeah,
5'4".
Kirk is fatter.
Yeah. I saw a good
He's a
tweet
little
where,
roly-poly.
somebody had a picture of Dan Vogelback, who's also a tank.
Yeah.
And they were like, Blue Jays saw this man and said, no, we need to get wider. They got Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, they were building an offensive line there
I
for a bit.
saw you know that filter or whatever on Snapchat or Instagram where it's like it goes down and you can move yourself and people are. I saw one person make themselves as thick as Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, that's the Alejandro Kirk,
which was pretty
filter.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he is gonna be if obviously don't want to overreact. He's just came up, but if he turns into a legit offensive player, this guy is gonna be immediately one of the most beloved Jays of all time, just based on the way he looks and his.
Yeah, he's kind of like obviously different players, but he's the same kind of fan appeal as Munenori Kawasaki, except he's actually good. You know what I mean? He's got that same cult following in the fan base, where people they want to see him hit.
Does he have a nickname yet?
Captain Kirk.
Is it Captain
I
Kirk?
think that's
check his baseball reference.
That's the anybody named Kirk. That's
You
kind
never
of
know because
I'm thinking what are Canadians just gonna call him Kirky? What's
Big Al.
Kirksey?
Big Al's good.
Big Al is good. Big Al's very good.
Yeah. So there we go.
I used to have
nothing
no
on the baseball
nicknames
reference
on the
page.
baseball reference.
I used to have an aquarium near my house called
Big Al's.
Big Al's Fish Emporium.
Yeah, there's one in Oakville too.
Yeah, is it a chain?
I guess it was. Yeah, it's closed down now,
Yeah.
so it's not there.
I used to go and watch them feed the sharks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the best.
yeah.
Sometimes they'd let you throw a little fish in.
I don't remember
then-
doing that. I'm
ooh.
sure I did.
Yeah,
but-
you got to climb the ladder on the side of the tank, and they'd literally just hand it to you and you just throw it in.
What about this?
But it was a rush, let me tell you. It was a rush.
Alejandro Kirk is born in Tijuana. So maybe you
shit.
think of something that starts with a T, like the Tijuana something. The Tijuana, Like
Ooh.
Teapot. Just a
I think
little
something like that.
short and stout.
Something like that has potential. Yeah, the Tijuana Teapot's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
We can that could be a work in progress for the nickname for Kirk.
Here's Alejandro. Here is
Kirk.
Kirk. Yeah, but Alejandro Kirk is awesome to watch.
Yeah, he smashes the
Yeah.
baseball when he
I'm
hits
glad-
it too. It's,
I'm just glad we're all kind of coming together. Our pitching was looking a little off, but it kind of came back to life.
I'm
recently.
I'm still a little bit worried about that. I'm worried about the bullpen too because
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same depth that it did.
The
I mean,
bullpen was the
beginning.
strength at the start of the year. Now it's the weakness.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of I don't think it'll be a weakness in the playoffs though, because we won't have to do those bullpen games.
They might though.
So
like,
we'll have
Well,
like
the first round they won't, but
Yeah.
they might after
like
that.
we'll have like Ross Stripling coming in and
But right
playing,
now, man,
like,
the rotation's like
he'll be like a
it's-
middle
it's-
reliever.
Well, I was like Shoemaker looked really good in his
Mm-hmm.
start back, so I think your rotation is Ryu, Walker, Shoemaker right now. Robbie Ray hasn't been very
Rourke
good.
got lit up last
yeah,
He's
year.
Rourke's
been
out.
horrible.
Yeah.
Rourke like
Chase Anderson's out too.
there's no scenario I see where Rourke is pitching in a playoff game.
Like you got 3 starters, and then after that, so in that first series, that's okay.
You only need 4, I guess, so maybe you do one bullpen game. but
Robbie
then you
Ray
kind of
hasn't been horrible.
I'm not like
I'm
he's
not
kind of
like
like
100% comfortable with him, but he hasn't. If he has to go in,
He can go in and give you a couple innings.
He is
I
like-
don't want him just like straight up starting.
no
a
because
game,
he
though.
like the thing with him is the hitters like the hitters don't know where the ball's going, but neither does Robbie Ray. He's just throwing it, and it's like
it's heat.
yeah, no, well. Anything he throws, he has no idea where it's going, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So maybe like if you're down 3-1, you just throw him out there and see maybe he finds something. But I don't know. I'm not super confident in him. I don't.
But yeah, as you said, you think Matt Shoemaker has pitched his way into our like our playoff rotation
Again, like we were saying, but you don't really have any other option either. Like it's Shoemaker or go with a bullpen game at this point. Then yeah.
So what do you guys think of our matchup with the Rays?
So they're kind
Because
of
it's
like
pretty much set. It's
So
set in
is
stone,
that
right?
set? Because we have.
I think it's
It's
set.
the top 2. We have a better record than the Astros, but it goes top 2 in each division.
which is frustrating. Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Rays.
I think they've clinched first, right?
I'm not sure about that.
I think so.
the Rays have clinched first. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
MLB
maybe not.
playoff
No.
picture.
I think the Twins can catch them, but they're 2 games up.
Mm-hmm.
They have 37 and 20, so they'll probably it's going to be them.
Yeah. They've obviously got
Yeah, the Rays clinched the division last night.
They've got a really good pitching staff, which is going to be a problem in the playoffs with Yarbrough. I'm assuming it'll be Yarbrough, Glasnow, Glasnow,
No, I think it'll be
Snell,
Snell,
and Morton.
Glasnow, Morton.
Yeah, not Yarbrough. Yarbrough
Yeah.
maybe if later on if the Rays advance, but yeah,
Which
because
is-
I think Glasnow pitched last night, Morton's pitching tonight. So if you look at it that way, it's probably going to be Glasnow game 1, Morton game 2, Snell game 3.
Right. Which
Because
is
it's Ryu tonight, Walker tomorrow, and actually let's look and see who's pitching. I'm assuming Shoemaker's pitching the game on Saturday, but I'll look
So
at
the
that right
Twins, White Sox, and A's are all vying for the league's number
Yeah.
1 seed. So we could play any one of those 3 as of right now,
no,
or 4. Any one of those. Like, who would
But
you rather play?
it's gonna be like
It'll be the Rays, but let's just, for sake of conversation,
I'd
who
wanna-
would you want to play?
the Twins out of those 3 because they have the worst pitching. I think.
Okay.
now. Yeah, that would be a fun matchup too with
Lots of home runs.
JD being there. Maybe even who
The
is
White Sox are the Twins.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think like the White Sox have Giolito. He's
they're
really
kind of in
good,
the
but-
same boat too, where they're a really young team. They've got maybe a little bit more veteran.
Like who the
presence.
Twins is like Kenta Maeda is their ace, I think.
Yeah,
And then, Burt Barrios.
yeah, Barrios. That's the
Yeah.
guy. I can think of his name.
But, like-
he's pretty good.
Out of those 4 teams, though, the Rays have like 3 studs. Like they are the worst team to play in that, especially in that first like 3.
Well, like let's just say you're putting the 6 pitchers up against each other. You have Ryu, Morton, Glasnow, Snell, Shoemaker, and Walker.
yeah.
So it's probably Ryu and Glasnow number 1 and 2 is the 2 best pitchers. Then the next 3 are the Rays, or the next 2 are the Rays.
For sure.
Right? You know
So
what I
the
mean? So they have
the
3 of the
A's
best
are-
4 pitchers.
The
in
A's have the
series.
best chance of catching the Rays.
The A's.
They're only 1 game back.
So the A's would be an interesting team too, because the Rays, or the A's. I mean, their thing is their starters aren't very good, but their
They're really
bullpen is
good.
lights out.
Okay. So I hate that because I have
Flashbacks
flashbacks of
to
the
the-
Cleveland
yeah.
series when we just got absolutely stifled.
Yeah. So that I
It
think
was like we'd go down and then they'd be like, all right,
here's Andrew Miller for
come
3
on in."
innings. and,
Fuck.
I think I would rather face the A's than the Rays, just because I'm like speaking of being of having flashbacks. Just the history at the Trop with the Jays over the past years has just been brutal. They can't win a series down there to save their life, and now you got to go down there for a playoff series because that's the way this is going to work. It's going to be
No, you don't have
Yeah,
no
all
home
three-
games.
all
All
3
three
games
games
are in the
in,
higher seed
yeah.
stadium, so you're
Which
either
is,
going.
I think that's the way it should be because you need to give.
Yep.
You have to make the regular season mean something. So I don't mind them.
And they're going to, so there are options. There are a couple beautiful stadiums, The Trop or that beautiful Palace in Oakland.
Yeah, the two
like
garbage.
maybe the
stadiums
only
in the
2
league.
stadiums in the league that are worse than the Rogers Center.
Yeah,
Like-
they might
Is
be-
the Rogers Center that bad?
Yes.
I mean, I heard it was bad. I just didn't know it was that bad.
No,
Like,
it's
bottom
look-
3.
It looks like dog shit.
It's bottom 3 for sure.
when the roof's closed.
Yeah.
the roof's open. It's okay.
It's bottom 3.
It's a
like
warehouse.
100%.
It's a
Yeah.
warehouse.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have those classic. Like,
This is going off
No.
topic, but I would like, man.
Like a.
I know
something
the
like
weather here
Milwaukee.
is shit in spring, but like I would love us to just get a classic outdoor
Yeah, but like
ballpark.
if they can do it in Minnesota, they
yeah,
can do
Minnesota's
it here.
is really nice
Yeah,
too.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Milwaukee, like those.
It would
like
be so nice to have a nice park like that. I don't
Yeah.
know where the fuck they'd put it. They probably
Ontario
have to build it on
Place.
top of maybe demolish the Rogers Center, and you'd have to move them somewhere for a year maybe. I
Play in
don't know.
Buffalo for a year.
Yeah, Salem Field. They have put another deck on, but
Yeah.
it would be so nice to have a nice ballpark like that. That's
Well, we don't know when we're getting fans back, anyways.
yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah,
There's lots of money lying
we got
around.
Lots of money lying around for new ballparks.
We're putting credit.
Can you imagine?
Dude, Doug Ford would be like, he tried to bring the Jays home.
Yeah, they're playing. No, he didn't try. He said they're playing
Yeah.
here. He's like, they'll be here.
Yeah.
Put it. What is he? Premier's guarantee.
Yeah, that does.
The Premier's guarantee from Doug Ford. The Blue Jays are going to be playing in Toronto.
But anyways, yeah, Rays, tough matchup. But in baseball, man, best of 3, anything's
Anything can
possible.
happen.
Anything's possible. So it's gonna be fun to see.
The Jays.
And
This
they're-
whole season has been fun just because it's kind of like, it's one of those years. It was like the Leafs' first year when we made the playoffs against the Capitals.
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah,
no
that's a good-
expectations. Like, let's just
we're
go
playing with,
out.
We're playing with house money.
Yeah, let's just
like
go
it's
out.
not gonna
and-
be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna be a little sad
I'll
when
be
they lose
upset
because I'm
when-
cheering
yeah.
for them, but it's not gonna be like, oh, what a
Yeah,
disaster.
it won't be the feeling.
Just like, oh, we weren't
of
even supposed to be
yeah.
in the playoffs.
It
right?
won't be
So-
the feeling of the Leafs losing.
Yeah,
I don't think.
so. I
anything
think
can really
it's gonna
match
be
that.
fun. I'd love to. Hopefully, they go on a little bit of a run to get us through fall here
Yeah.
because basketball and hockey are ending soon. We've got the Sundays locked down,
And we're not going to get them back until like January,
Yeah.
probably.
Earliest, I would say January.
So it's going to be this podcast is going to turn into a lot of NFL,
Yeah,
And a lot of
some
hypotheticals.
PGA.
Yeah.
we got
We're
the
gonna have to do that
Yeah, we
'cause-
got the majors coming up.
Yeah, the next 2 majors are the Masters,
Speaking of
which
which-
is kind of cool.
I'm just going to mention this now. Anybody that didn't see Bryson DeChambeau, as I like to call him because I don't like him.
what's your beef with them?
He's a dick. Have you ever seen him?
No, I don't.
He does that.
I've seen him.
Dude, he does shit on the golf
Like, I
course where
know what
he
he
like
looks like.
yells at spectators for like standing and like
You love a
spec-
heel, though. Why don't
and,
you
like-
like this guy?
because he's not a heel in a fun way. He's a heel in like a
But that's not a heel. That's not a good heel.
no, good heels can be fun.
I disagree. You're
No,
supposed to hate
yeah.
them.
You're supposed to hate him.
I mean, sure, maybe I'm not a universal heel guy. Maybe this guy's just the one heel I don't like. But at the same I just don't enjoy him as a golfer.
He's a Baron Corbin
Yeah.
type heel.
yeah.
He's not
Like-
an Adam Cole.
Like some moments he does are funny, like when he had the ants like near his ball and he requested to move. He requested to move the ball because he was like, the ants are distracting me.
That's a good heel move.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
That's a
That is
really
that is
good
a
heel move.
textbook heel move.
Yeah, but I don't know. I prefer like if I'm gonna pick a golf heel, I prefer Patrick Reed or Fatrick Reed as people call him, because he's like one of those. He's like one of those
He
heels.
like cheats, doesn't he? He'll like.
no, he like I don't know. He wears red on Sundays because he
Right.
thinks he's Tiger. Like he does.
Didn't he
just
like
does
there was
shit-
something
he just does
recently
shit
where he
that.
like he got caught like moving his ball.
I think that was Bryson.
I thought it was Patrick Reed. Maybe
We should
yeah.
do a what like
There's a voice crack
when
for you
things
right there.
dry up in the sports, like when the Jays are out, we should do a segment one week where we bring like our top 5 heels. in
Oh, that's a
sports.
good one.
That is good.
That is very
Yeah.
good.
But another thing about Bryson that I actually do respect is he got into like a beef with Brooks Koepka like last season, and then over the quarantine, he just got fucking yoked.
Yeah, he's
like Brooks. Like Brooks is like
That's
he's like the Brooks.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's
I love
well. I mean,
Like,
from the outside looking
show you
in,
a
it all
picture.
sounds good, but like I don't enjoy. I'm a big Brooks Koepka guy though. I think that
Yeah.
might be why. I'm
gonna show you a picture here, Mike, of that's like the body transformation of DeChambeau.
He doesn't even look jacked. He looks like he's just like
No,
got fat.
he's jacked.
No, he's huge.
Yeah.
And he's just started ripping like bombs down the fairway. Like
Yeah.
he like
He's
he
like-
extended his drives like a lot.
I don't follow golf that closely, but I've heard he's just like kind of changing the way people golf on like a par 5. He'll just rather
This
than
is what-
like
when-
go for the fairway, he'll just bomb the ball.
If we
over
start
the
getting
trees.
into PGA, this
That's
is what,
that's on Doglegs.
Oh yeah.
if we start getting into PGA, the way we'll talk about it is because I refuse to watch golf, so you're just gonna teach it to me on the
Okay.
cast, like you're
Sure.
doing right now. With like you'll be like, let me tell you about this guy, and then I'll just react as if like I did there. I'll be like, he sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like, you say like,
Yeah. I don't even really have a favorite. Like obviously Tiger's my favorite because he's the one that
I
is
know.
the
I
reason
obviously I
watch
know
golf.
like about Tiger and Phil,
Yeah,
and
but like
I just don't know the new guy. I don't really know not much about any of the new young guys.
yeah, Justin Thomas is probably my favorite young guy because he was like a guy that like lived in his friend's shadow, Jordan Spieth,
Yeah.
and then he like kind of like surpassed him.
He's kind of
recently.
he's better than Spieth now,
Yeah.
I would say, just from reading the leaderboards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Spieth is just he's just kind of fallen off. I don't know what happened.
That seems like that happens for just like as an outsider. That seems like that happens a little bit.
Kind of
in golf.
happened to McIlroy.
Yeah,
Like-
where guys win early on and then they just like. Anyways,
They get hot and cold in
So
golf.
Jays predictions. They have 4 games left. If they win all 4, you get the belt.
Oh,
Only if we win all 4.
Yeah, because if they win all 4, they're 33. That gets you closer. Because my pick was 27, your pick was 38.
so what if they win?
If they don't win all 4, I get. The
Okay,
belt.
okay.
I'm closest.
Man, that fucking losing streak really crushed my dreams.
Well, at least you got some big rooting interest these next 4 games.
I had rooting interest anyways.
Yeah, but now it's even
I know.
bigger.
It just sucks.
Um,
We like playing our division really.
well, don't dude.
Really
if they
hurt.
if they win tonight, then they got the 3 against the Orioles.
Yeah.
They could go 4-0.
Sure, dude. Sure.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's likely. all
it's
right?
not likely, but it could happen.
And I don't want to lose the belt. It's my belt.
Yeah, well,
It's mine. I deserve it. All right. Anyways, let's move on. You want to do NBA next, and then or NFL.
I think we go into the NFL.
All right.
It's the active.
Yeah.
Well, the other 2 are active, but
Yeah.
the teams we like are out.
Yeah. So we'll go. We'll go into the NFL Week 2 recap. Top storylines. What do you guys want to talk about?
I know one I want to talk about. This is a little bit personal for me. I know people are probably going to get sick of me rambling about this every week, but the Bengals need to find a way to protect Joe Burrow or he's going to die. Like,
Yeah,
I think he had threw 60 something times yesterday or on Thursday, and he only threw for, let me look this up. He threw for like 300 yards and he had 60 pass attempts because he doesn't have any time to throw the ball down the field. And it's just like, I think he had the most quarterback pressures in the league too last week. So it's just like, what are you guys doing?
But you know what? Like, he doesn't. It's weird. He doesn't look phased.
No,
Like,
he
really
doesn't.
Like, it's,
but you're just.
He's got that mental strength that I think like you need in a quarterback.
I don't think I'm not worried about him like breaking mentally. I'm worried about him
Breaking
getting killed.
physically.
Yeah, like I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I just.
Like it's not sustainable to stand there and throw 60 times a game and make it
But
through a
there's
season.
also something to be said about like how good a quarterback can take a hit. 'Cause
For
there's
sure, but you don't want- I don't wanna test that.
I know, but there's certain. I just wanted to branch that off into another
Yeah.
conversation. Like there's certain quarterbacks you watch get hit, and you're like, yeah. Like when Jameis Winston gets hit, you're like, this guy, like he's flailing
Yeah.
around. Teddy Bridgewater, every time he slides, I think he's gonna break his leg.
yeah,
Like
I get scared when Aaron Rodgers gets hit now because
Yeah.
'Cause he's old. He
breaks
looks
his
pretty fragile.
collarbone.
Carson Wentz, he gets hit bad. He always seems to turn into the sack.
Matt Stafford gets crushed too, but he's
But
tough
he's
as
like,
nails.
yeah, he's just nails. But like, then there's like Kyler Murray. When Kyler Murray gets hit, I'm like, he just like took that like a stunt man. Like he just absorbs it and like he goes down with them and he just rolls out of it and he pops
he's
up.
like a running back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Burrow is good at getting hit.
I think the biggest story in week 2 was the injuries.
For sure,
Like,
like 100%
Yeah,
the
that's
injuries.
the biggest storyline.
And like it's all like
Meadowlands.
usually you're
Yeah.
you're
Sticky
watching
field.
an NFL game like and it's like, oh, they're like, oh, this guy went down. He's their like fourth cornerback. You're like, all right, whatever. It's like every guy that went down was like a star.
Yeah.
Like a star player getting carted
Like
off.
Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Am I missing anybody?
Yeah,
here?
the top 5 players on the 49ers.
Yeah.
Well,
Mostert.
Week 1
Drew
was
Lock.
Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano for the Bills.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking personally, like,
Yeah.
and that doesn't even get talked about compared to like all the other ones. So like normally that would be a big story if somebody's entire linebacking. Like we go 4-2-5. We play nickel a lot, so those are usually our only 2 linebackers on the field. That's usually a big story if like both your starting linebackers go down.
Yeah.
But because of all the other injuries, it's kind of like fallen in the background. It's like What is it for the 49ers? Like Kittle,
Sherman.
Kittle,
Sherman.
Mostert, Sherman,
Garoppolo.
Right? I didn't mention Bosa. Did we say Bosa?
Bosa. I was like, who's the
Coleman, Tevin Coleman. too.
Tevin Coleman. Yeah, but he's been shit. But anyways, yeah, it's been crazy, and
this
apparently it's a lot to do with the Jets' new turf.
That was the
Like,
Niners
they've
were
been
complaining
saying-
about that.
And they have to go back there and play the Giants.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they were like threatening to like not play the game, which is
A
like,
lot of this too, like there obviously there wasn't a preseason, so
I was gonna say, do you think like
I think that definitely played
Do
an
you think this
impact.
is
you gotta get warm.
a fluky year? Or do you think that's a big part of it?
I think it's probably a bit of both, but I think
Yeah.
that definitely is a factor considering, like I think there is something to be said for getting used to getting hit.
For sure.
Like you can't just
Yeah.
jump into a playoff or a
but
regular
I don't
season
know,
game
like
and get crushed the
getting
way you
used
do
to
in
getting
football.
hit is like these guys are just like snapping ACLs. Like that's not.
But maybe that's
But that's
because-
like the way you get hit
Yeah.
and the way
Yeah.
your legs turn.
and the way you're trying to like maybe avoid a hit. Yeah.
Also, I would like to see the numbers on like maybe it's just like a random year where it just so happens that the star players are
Right.
getting hurt. Are the injury numbers really up, or is it just like
More notable guys.
yeah? Like I would like to see those numbers
Yeah.
before I kind of make a judgment on that,
And
which I just don't have in front of me, so I can't make
hope,
that. Like,
hopefully this
we'll
doesn't.
get our stats guy on that.
Okay.
He's in the back room. He'll be looking that up. Maybe we can get you to that towards the end of the podcast.
I
Do
guess
it.
We'll find out more by the probably next week. We'll find out more whether or not this continues or not. Hopefully it doesn't. But
Yeah. Well, it sucks for the game when the stars don't play.
Actually,
obviously. Right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
in any
we're
sport.
honestly, knock on wood, we're lucky. Like more quarterbacks haven't been going down,
Yeah.
'Cause
it's
that's-
really it's Garoppolo and Locke
Yeah.
at this point,
and
then-
those are like
maybe I'm
middle
missing
tiering
someone else.
quarterbacks.
yeah.
So it's like
Middle tier, but like Garoppolo he's the quarterback from one
I
of the
can
best teams
see
in the
them
league.
succeeding without him.
Yeah. I don't
Like that run game is their like, but without Kittle, their run game is like
for sure.
isn't as good. So it's like now they're really kind of in the hole. But so other week 2 storylines. Obviously, I don't know in your top 10 questions. I don't
That's
know.
right. I
if
don't
you
want to steal any
mentioned that.
thunder from the questions.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tread lightly here.
Well, I mean, we can get into the top 10 questions in a second, but I want to talk about the comeback and whether are the Atlanta Falcons the Maple Leafs of the NHL?
they're just cursed. They don't know how to.
They don't know how to get it done.
I don't know what the hell they were
Yeah.
doing on that onside kick, man. Like they just let it roll.
Dude, they were like
Staring at it.
hypnotized. by
Yeah.
it. Yeah. They're just like, give it space. Like,
know what?
it's like they were like blocking like their own guys. They're just staring at
because
it.
There's some crazy pictures.
I think what they were worried about is because if you touch it, it becomes a live ball, and the Falcons or the Cowboys can pick it up. Because if it's short of 10 yards, the Falcons touch it becomes a live ball. But just pick it up.
Yeah, like
But
that,
just fall
so
on the ball.
That's like you have no confidence in
Then
yourself.
I don't trust myself to pick this ball.
I'm
up.
gonna touch
Yeah.
it and like lose it right away.
Yeah.
Man, that was wild. I've never
Is it?
seen one. They call it a watermelon ball, I think is what they call
When
it.
it just spins like
yeah,
that.
that one on their side where they're just
Yeah.
toe punted or whatever.
I don't mean to interrupt here. Is the freezer open?
No.
I
I'm
it
gonna
is.
check.
We just gotta something in the studio here. Maybe I'm freaking out a little bit.
I think it might be.
I think it might be too. No?
Oh, it's
Wow.
a weird angle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you see what I'm seeing, though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
It's just it's weird.
Anyways.
Back to football.
Yeah, back to the hardcore football talk.
So question 1.
Oh, we're gonna do
Are we
the.
gonna go into
do you want to go into that, or
Yeah,
what
let's
do you
do
want
it.
to do? I mean, actually, we could. There's some more storylines. I'm
Yeah,
sure
if
we
you
can-
got anything else you want to throw out there,
we can bring up.
or we could just transition. From
Yeah,
that.
you know, let's go into 10 burning questions on the forefront with Brandon Treader. This is his segment, so I'm gonna
So
send it over to
we're
him.
just talking about the Atlanta Falcons there. So I'm gonna ask. We'll start with Mike, I guess, and then we'll go around the table.
Wow, you're actually putting us in order.
Yeah, we got to get a little bit of order on this segment. You know, it's been
all right.
got to keep things on the rails. Will the Falcons be the highest scoring losing team in the history of the NFL? So I know you looked up and saw who the highest scoring team ever was. I looked at the last
Highest scoring losing team.
Yeah, sorry. And I looked at the last 10 years. Interestingly, the last 10 years, 6 times the highest team in the losing record has come from that division.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Panthers did it once, the Saints did it a few times, the Falcons did it a few times, which is kind of wild when you think about it that way. I think the Saints, well, I don't remember exactly what year it was. I don't have it written down in front of me, but they had the record with 460 something total points, and they went 7-9. So do you think the Falcons have a shot to be the highest scoring losing team ever?
So this is the highest scoring team by points per game, which I mean in 2004 they played 16 games, so I'm assuming it is the highest scoring losing team ever because before that they used to play less
right,
games.
and they scored less.
Yeah, so 30.2 points per game. 2004 Kansas City Chiefs, they went 7-9. That was like Trent Green, Priest Holmes,
Larry Johnson,
Tony Gonzalez. Yeah. Falcons through 2 games, putting up 32 points per game. I don't think 30.2 is tough. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able to do
I think
it.
they're on pace.
They are on pace, but they just
What
put
did they score in the first game?
27, I think.
Yeah.
39.
No,
39
last
last
game. What did they put
I think
in
it was
the first
27, but
Yeah.
Okay, so that
25, I think. I have them at 30.
That's 33 right now.
32.
32?
So I think they put up 25.
Okay.
Yeah, 25, 38, 25.
Okay.
Yeah. And
They could do it.
they could. It's going to be tough.
And-
I would bet that they don't.
I'm going to say they do.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they do.
What that
Well,
division,
do they? Maybe are they a losing team? That's also
they're
part of the
definitely a
question.
losing team.
Okay.
You're going to done chain them.
Yeah.
Done? They're done. Yeah.
They're done?
They're done.
Well, they're
shot.
done.
No.
They're just worse than 8-8, is what he's
You
saying.
know what you know what?
Well, that's no shot.
Yeah.
The thing I take away from that is like their best defensive player is a rookie, AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
Like he's been their best defensive player. Like that can't happen.
They gave up points. This is just another side stat.
Like a rookie corner is your best
that
defensive
game,
player.
7 of the last 8 Cowboys possessions, they gave up points. Their defense. So you're not
Yeah.
winning any game
No clutch, Gene.
when that's happening.
And like I said, too, usually the team comes out of that division, the highest scoring team in the last 10 years. So I think that's probably a factor of that. Like the good teams in that division love to play high scoring games. That's the way the Saints play. And there's a lot of bad defenses in that
Saints might
division.
be
Yeah.
changing their style.
Dude,
We
this
can
is the
talk
thing,
about
though. And then you think about that division. That division might be the sneaky, shittiest division in football.
If Breeze plays
Well,
the way he has.
Do you want to get in? What are your answers for this? We can go right into that your next question.
Is Drew Brees washed?
Yeah, is Drew Brees, do we think he's finished as a starting quarterback?
think
I go to
he's-
Aaron on this one.
I think he's serviceable when he has Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas is the straw that stirs the drink in that offense. I think when he's there, they have to be cognizant of him. And when he's not there, all they have to worry about is Kamara. So it's like there's really there's only one game plan for stopping them. It's like stack the box, watch out for Alvin Kamara, and like make sure like you don't have to cover 20 yards down the field because Brees can't throw it that far.
Exactly. And if they fall behind in a game, it doesn't seem like they have a chance to come back because Breeze can't. You know what I mean? He can't throw the ball
It's like
down the field, like you were saying,
Tyrod Taylor is their quarterback.
without the mobility.
Yeah. And I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. So that game was a bit of an eye opener
Ooh.
for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was your Super Bowl pick.
This
Shitty.
this is another stat. I'm bringing the stats.
Oh.
In that game against the Raiders, Drew Brees' average pass traveled less than 5 yards in that game.
Yikes.
So, and he was like, they were down. So he needed to be
Yeah.
throwing it down the field. He just can't do it. And I think he knows he can't do it because they weren't even trying to do it.
And that Raiders
Getting
secondary.
Michael Thomas back will help,
Yeah.
but man, that did not look good. Like,
It's not like the
I would be-
Raiders
I would be
secondary is
concerned.
like
No.
the
They have
Legion
good-
of Boom.
If I was a
Like,
Saints
it's-
fan,
They
I
have
would
good
be concerned.
safeties.
Yeah, but it's not again.
Jonathan Abrams, he's like one of my favorite.
Okay,
He's honestly
yeah.
one of my favorite players.
A
to
little
watch.
bit of a
that guy
side note-
sprints around and
of-
just lays the boom on everybody. He's nuts.
A side note of Jonathan Abrams here. Did you see when he got hurt
Is
early
it
in the game?
Abram or Abrams?
I think it's Abram actually.
Yeah,
now
I
that
do
think of-
too.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams. Did you see when he got hurt early on in that game? Where
Dude, he like ran into the booger
Yeah,
mobile
dude.
or whatever it is. Was that the Boogermobile?
It wasn't, but it was like I saw that tweet too, where it's like
I didn't see the tweet.
there was
I
a
just
tweet
thought
that was
that's
like
what it was.
Jonathan Abram got run over by the Boogermobile, and it's just him sprawled out. I know. Thank God he was okay, but
that was scary.
That image of him just like sprawled out under the cart was like,
especially
knowing he's okay. It's really funny to me.
Oh, it's hilarious.
With my dark sense of humor, but
it's pretty like it's
that was like 2 feet away from the sideline.
And he got hurt like in a similar way last year by like just going way too hard.
Yeah.
And just getting like I think it was a concussion that he was out with, right? Last year? Or
I don't know. It might have been a shoulder. I think it was a shoulder thing.
Yeah. Either way, it was from hitting people too hard. But then like that whole division is interesting to me. Like that Saints, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers.
There's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, it's like the Saints beat the Bucks, right? But then the Saints lost to the Raiders.
Yeah, to be fair.
And then the Bucks won. But I think that's gonna be the new NFC. That's gonna be like the new Cowboys, Eagles. That's the NFC East.
I think it's
right?
tough to take anything away from the Bucks' first game, like just because there's so many pieces coming together there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they may end up looking like the far and away the best team in that division, but
I think there's really a chance that they aren't though.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of questions.
That division is going to be an interesting thing to follow.
The NFC East in the last few years has just been like
who can be the best shitty team.
1 week the Eagles and Cowboys will look amazing, and then they'll lose to like one of the worst teams in the league the next week.
But that's what the Saints just did.
Yeah. I don't think the Raiders are one of the worst teams in the league.
No, but they're not one of the best.
We talked about it last week. You do.
I'm not a believer in the Raiders, but
do you still think the Chargers are better than them?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
You don't like Mike Gruden. You don't like John Gruden's energy.
No,
I love it.
Waller's
Waller's
really
unbelievable. Yeah, Waller is one of the best tight ends in football.
I think he's 3 now.
Moving from the Monday nighter to the Sunday nighter now.
4.
Andrews is ahead of him.
Yeah, I'd go Kittle, then Kelsey, then Andrew. For receiving, I think Kelsey's one.
Waller's no doubt top 5.
Yeah.
Now
he's taken over Ertz.
Yeah.
Because Ertz has Goddard taking all of his targets.
All right, moving from the Sunday nighter to the Monday nighter to the Sunday nighter. The Sunday nighter was another great game between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Cam Newton looked really good in this game again. He was throwing the ball downfield. He was running. He was kind of looking like MVP Cam a little bit. How many teams do you think regret passing on him this offseason? Because you could have had him basically for free. He's making
so
annoying. Like $1.5 million, I think, is his contract.
It's almost like everybody just overthinks shit, and Belichick's like, okay,
yeah, we'll take him. Yeah, because
the obvious answer here is the Bears.
The Bears, because they're
they signed Foles.
They
early,
traded for Foles. They traded a 4th round pick for Foles, and his cap hits $25 million.
Mm-hmm.
The hindsight answer is now with injuries, the Broncos and the Chargers with Taylor, and although Herbert looked good.
See, I don't think the Chargers are involved in that. I don't think so at all.
To me, I think they are, because if you're gonna have Tyrod Taylor, you brought Tyrod Taylor in, it seems like they wanted him to start this year.
Yeah,
you have Cam Newton's better than Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and he can do all the same things.
They're trying to compete.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were.
Well, there's no reason.
I think they were trying to be. I think they were trying to be competitive. But I don't think they were trying to blow the world away. I think he was a placeholder.
But if you think you have one of the best defenses in the league, which I'm assuming they think they do, why not? They're like, if we get Cam Newton in here, we're a playoff team.
Because it gives Anthony Lynn a little bit more leash on his head coaching job. Where it's like, we have a rookie guy. Like, you have to wait it out with me.
But I think they would have had that anyways. And I don't
think so. If you bring in Cam, you're trying to compete.
Right, but they still have Herbert. And because Cam was still a question mark in the offseason, and if Cam doesn't work out, he still has that. Well, look, we tried.
I don't think so. I don't think he has the same as he did with Tyrod, because Tyrod is like the definition of a safety blanket. We won't turn the ball over. He'll keep you close most games.
Another team for me that stands out there is the Colts, just because I've never been a believer in Phillip Rivers, and I think Cam would make their offense so much more dynamic.
Well, with one of the best O-lines in football, it would have been crazy.
Yeah, imagine him running behind Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. But I think they're probably I don't know. I think they're
the Bears is what do you
they're
what do
the Bear. It's the Bears.
What do you think?
It is the Bear. The Bears is the
even
answer.
maybe Jacksonville a little bit. I know Minshew's looked really good, but
Nah.
Yeah.
No, you got to roll with Gardner.
Yeah, you have to.
It's Minshew mania, man. You can't screw with that.
Brandon doesn't like exciting things.
No.
Brandon wants safety.
Dude, have you ever looked at Gardner Minshew?
I have. You're
That's
right.
all
yeah.
you. That's all you need.
That's true.
That's all he needs.
You ever heard the story of when his coach threatened to like redshirt him
He like.
so that he broke his hand with a hammer?
Yeah. No,
So
he broke his hand with a hammer so he could redshirt.
Yeah,
and
so
have
he can
another
redshirt and
year.
have a year of eligibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's
That's a football guy. That's a real football guy.
Is there any? So sticking with that game, is there anybody you trust less to close out a close game than Pete Carroll? Obviously, he had the famous,
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Probably Dan
The
Quinn.
famous throw on the 1 yard line with Marshawn Lynch just standing there in the backfield that was picked off by Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. And then in this Monday nighter, they were running the clock out. They were, I think it was like a third and short.
Do I have to pick a coach?
No, just
Phillip
we're
Rivers?
just gonna talk. No. We're just gonna talk about.
No,
this.
I'm saying a guy I trust less than.
No, yeah, you got to pick a coach for sure if
Oh.
that's what you're gonna do. But
Rivers is
Yeah, Rivers is my quarterback.
the
then,
Seahawks,
but-
they had a third and short, running the clock down. Patriots have one timeout left, and they decide just to bomb it down the field.
let Russ cook.
I let him throw for a first down if you're gonna do that. Don't bomb it down the field against Stephon Gilmore.
Do you think that was a Pete Carroll decision, or you think that was just Russ cooking?
No, I think that was well.
It's Russ. Let him cook.
I think Pete Carroll's probably gonna step in there and
If
say,
you're gonna let Russ cook, you take off the leash.
Another
the
thing-
leash is off.
Another thing
He's
there-
the head chef. He's not the sous
Yeah.
chef.
Sorry, yeah. Another thing there was Chris Carson had a chance to run for a first down and he just slid to stay in bounds. I don't know if you remember that. It was right before the 2-minute warning.
But
he-
they all-
That's
they
not
also-
on
That,
Carroll,
no,
then.
you're right.
But
that
they
was just
also
another-
won the game.
Yeah.
They did. Like,
So he closed out the game.
I guess.
He just
They
did
closed
it
out the
poorly.
game.
On
But-
the
Yeah,
one.
like Pete
Yeah.
Carroll is like, I understand what you're saying, but like he's won a Super Bowl. Like I'm not.
He should have two. If he
Yeah.
like 100% unequivocally could have two. If
Yeah.
he
Honestly,
doesn't
like I hate
choke.
to say it, but like McDermott's not good at closing out games. We get leads and we just hand them touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Like it pisses every single week. Every week.
I
It's like,
think you're.
It's like, oh, the Jets and the Dolphins actually kept it close, but like no, they didn't.
lot
if
of
you
but
watch the
you-
games, like they didn't.
I think you're
Most
looking at
teams
that
do
in a
do
bit of a
that.
bubble.
Yeah.
Most teams do that. I've like,
But it's-
dude,
but
I've
it's
cheered and
frustra-
cheered,
it's
but
still
I've-
frustrating.
Yeah, but I've been cheering for a good team for a while, and like that, it usually happens where you're up big and then the other team gets back in it in the fourth
because
quarter.
you want like
I
you don't-
understand that, but like
it's not a rare. It's not a
but like
Bills
we're
only thing.
but we're not usually up enough. Like Packers will be up 3 TDs and then
And then
that'll
we'll
happen.
win by like 6.
No, you
or
win
5.
by like 10.
No.
We're winning by like 3. Like we were not in the position against the Jets or against the Dolphins where we could play.
We
pre
didn't
them.
win by more than one possession, like except for 2 times last year.
Okay. Anyways, I don't know. It really like prevent defense really frustrates me. I know you're trying to be safe, but I just don't think it's not a winning mentality. Like
No,
you don't
it's
do that.
not.
You don't do that in the playoffs. Like practice the way you're going to play in the playoffs.
But it's not just McDermott who does that. Is my point. I'm not saying it's not.
But we're talking about people who are who hate closing out games comfortably. That's what it says. So I'm from personal experience. The Bills like to make me sweat at the end of games. It's just the facts.
All right. Has Kyler Murray thrown his name into the ring for most exciting player in the NFL? I don't think he is the most exciting player in the NFL, but I think he's definitely in the conversation
I think
with a
it's-
guy like Lamar Jackson and a guy
He's thrown his name in the ring.
for sure.
I
For sure.
got a bit of a take.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hot, but it's maybe a little bit spicy.
Okay.
I know what you're gonna say.
It's not really hot at all. I think Murray Hopkins will be looked back as one of the most prolific QB receiver duos in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. Okay. Like it's hard to like. I wouldn't want to bet against that right now.
So Hopkins, they've got him locked up now till 2024, and like they already look like they have really good chemistry.
Yeah, they like each other for sure.
So I think that's going to be a nice combo for the next at least half a decade. How old's DeAndre? 27? 26? 27? He's not.
Maybe a little bit
So
older
he's still
than that.
got
But
some service, barring any injury problems, which
DeAndre Hopkins
he's
is
got some.
28 years old.
Okay. So 33. He goes till 33.
He's also like his.
Okay. Okay.
Tony Montana.
I was doing Trump.
Oh,
He's
Okay.
gotta say, yeah.
he's
He's a 4.
his major asset too has never been his speed. Like he's not a burner.
Yeah.
It's like he's a guy who seems like one of those receivers that can age well.
Larry Fitz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Larry Fitz Jr. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the guys with just like unbelievable hands are the guys that age well.
Exactly, and he's
Yeah.
that guy.
He is that guy. Him and Diggs.
Any thoughts on Kyler Murray?
Yeah, I think for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I think I don't think that's even really. I mean, I know it's a question on the sheet. I just don't think it's even really a question in real life, though. For
I
sure.
think you should have made the question a little more spicier and said, "Is Kyler Murray the most exciting?" But I think the answer would have been no, because
That's
Lamar Jackson
Yeah,
to me.
Lamar
Like,
Jackson.
but Kyler Murray runs like similarly to Lamar.
so
Like
yeah, the way they
sometimes
just like dance around in the backfield.
Well, they not even in the backfield, like in the open
Yeah.
field, they're like running sideways, and then like that one touchdown run by Murray, like this weekend was like insane.
Okay, so here's a question: 2 years from now, when you're talking best quarterback in the NFL, is Kyler Murray's name right there? Like with the guy, like right now you're talking like Jackson, Mahomes. Is Murray in that with whoever else in 2 years from now?
I think we'll talk about him maybe in a similar way that we talk about Russell Wilson right now. Not like necessarily a guy who, but just a guy who's very good, maybe not the best.
But like, so he's like top 5,
Yeah.
no doubt. But like, there's still that next level.
I don't know that we'll necessarily see that, but I think that is certainly within the realm of possibility. And I wouldn't want to bet against that.
Yeah. So when I'm looking at like, I also want to know what your definition of an exciting player is as well, because there's
Well,
excitement where it's like
fun to watch.
Jameis Winston excitement,
Yeah.
like you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like where it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, and he just
Like,
he
do
just
you mean?
hucks
I
it.
think you
And
mean
you're
like
whoa,
a
like
mobile quarterback.
Energetic, yeah, and
Yeah.
most like
But what about like
Electric.
What would you put like Brett Favre, where he couldn't run, but
Yeah,
he was
that's
like
fun.
doing
yeah, that's fun.
he just do shit.
Yeah.
they do crazy.
That's what I
stuff.
mean. That's kind of like the Josh Allen excitement.
Yeah,
Where you're like, this guy never quits on a play, but it's like it could go bad. So like your nuts are in your chest, but like at the same time you're like,
like Aaron Rodgers is not exciting.
Not anymore.
He was,
Yeah.
but like now he's not. Even when he has a really good game now, it's just like he's just doing the right things.
he's picking people
It's
apart.
not like
Yeah.
he's not making the crazy plays.
And I think there's also
He's
there's
not
also
throwing
a
Brady was like that too. Even when Brady
there's
used to
also-
cook, it was just like he's making the right throws.
there's also a level of like expectations behind Rod. Like when I see Rodgers doing sick shit, I'm like,
Yeah, well, we've seen him do it for
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's Rodgers.
what 10 years now.
Yeah, like
At least.
I don't know if I'll ever look at Lamar Jackson and be like, yeah, like I'll be like, because
You're like, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen
Yeah,
next.
like, holy
This
shit,
is
like,
it. Mahomes kind of has that too, where he's like making bad throws, but they work.
Yeah.
Like you're like,
Mahomes-
That's a bad show.
Mahomes hasn't looked good this year. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, there's a question coming
Yeah.
up.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Kyler Murray he's definitely in the ring.
Yep.
Like you can't say he's not. Anybody with eyes is excited by what Kyler Murray's been doing, and he has. I think like Kenyon Drake has been not good.
No, he has not.
So he's kind of like for that offense to take the next step. I think they need to get some more opportunities for Kenyon Drake because that'll help Kyler Murray be a little bit more mobile. Because when you have a mobile quarterback and not a good running game, they can just put a spy on your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you play the play action, that spy sometimes drops down to take your running back, right? And then you're free to go. I don't know, like I'm not an X's and O's guy in football, but like I understand it enough to know because I've been watching Josh Allen, right? When linebackers line up with Josh Allen, it's like, and then we have those designed runs, he just gets dominated at the line.
Yeah.
But then when our run game's moving, he's a lot better at scrambling. So I think Kenyon Drake needs to be better for that offense to take the next step. Anyways, let's move on.
So sticking with the Arizona Cardinals a little bit
Yeah.
here. How hot is Bill O'Brien's seat right now? David Johnson has not looked very good in these two games. DeAndre Hopkins has been unbelievable, and this was already something that he was taking a lot of criticism for already, and it's starting to fall apart.
I think
front of him.
what he has going for him though is they
play tough
their
teams.
schedule.
Yeah.
They play the two best teams in the league. They get the Steelers this week. They could be 0-3 without anyone really being able to say like you should have won any of those games. Their schedule gets way easier later, so I think you have to wait to answer that question just because they've had a ridiculous schedule. Like Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers, like that's crazy.
I think the seat warmer is definitely on
for sure,
like in the car.
He's got something to point to though.
Yeah,
to at
it's
least
definitely
be like, look at this.
You know when you're like you don't notice it's on, but then all of a sudden you're like, my seat's kind of hot. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, turn it off. Like that's like where his seat warmer is right now. It's not like middle of winter, like going to hockey practice at like 6 a.m. crank it to like high, but it's definitely on.
Who left this on?
And it's definitely like, why does somebody have their seat warmer on? It's the summer.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So that's Bill O'Brien right now, in my opinion, and it's all because of what you said. It's schedule. It's early in the season.
Like he hasn't lost a game that he wasn't expected to lose.
Right.
Also, the guys that he's brought in to replace DeAndre Hopkins haven't been healthy. So like Brandon Cooks hasn't been healthy this entire time. People really underestimate Brandon Cooks. Every year he plays a decent amount of games, he's a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, but
right? And I think you're right though. I think David Johnson needs to do better for him to stay off of the hot seat.
The counter argument to that though, I would say it's easier to replace. Like it's easier to find a guy who can do what David Johnson can do than it is to find a guy who can do what DeAndre Hopkins can do.
For sure.
So again,
but I think now instead of having a focal point offense where they have one guy, they're trying to spread it out where they have multiple.
Yeah.
Because you brought in, like DeAndre Hopkins used to be like he used to be a deep threat. He used to be kind of a slot guy. Like you could line him up anywhere. Mm-hmm. So they brought in Cobb to handle the slot. They brought in Brandon Cooks to handle the long ball and kind of like the intermediate throws. So.
And then Will Fuller's still there too.
Yeah,
whenever
he's still
healthy,
but he's never healthy.
Yeah.
So he isn't. It's insane. But yeah, I think you need to wait.
So we're gonna go. We've seen obviously a lot of teams, including my Cincinnati Bengals, have not looked very good this year. If you guys were picking right now, who you think is gonna pick first overall, who's it gonna be?
I would pick your Cincinnati.
You think it's gonna be my Bengals?
You think so?
Yeah. So offensive line is trash, right? Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell me when I
say something that's wrong.
I've been yelling about this for 3 weeks.
Defense has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Wait till Geno Atkins gets back.
So here's So AJ
that's
Green.
a big deal.
It might be too late by then. DJ Reader's been there. That was their big free agent signing, and he's
but if you have both of them,
Atkins is more of a pass rusher too than a run stuffer.
AJ Green was targeted 13 times against the Browns.
Yeah.
In the last
interior pressure is important.
I can't remember how many years it is, but I think it's in the last however many years, 175 times. Quarterback has targeted a single receiver in a game 13 times. That was the least efficient out of all those 175. 13 targets, 29 yards. I think AJ Green is washed.
I got
that's a huge blow. If he's washed, their offense is significantly less.
I'm going to push back on this a little bit because Green hasn't played in 2 years. He's played one game in the last 2 years, so I think he is still.
That's adding to the reason why he's washed.
But I think he's still kind of like working off the rust a little bit, and he actually said that today in his media. But I'm going to ask you.
Is he gonna say that?
I'm going to, of course.
He's not going to say I'm done.
But do you know? I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what the number one song in the world was the last time AJ Green played a football game?
Despacito.
It was Despacito.
Oh no,
it was Despacito. That was the number one song the last time AJ Green was healthy.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
And he may never be healthy.
He might not, but
I think isn't he pretty healthy right now? Like,
he's been sitting out of a few practices.
Yeah, but that's a veteran thing.
No, it was because of he tweaked his hamstring in training camp.
Did he?
And, yeah, but
okay. I just know like most football teams like
they will
Wednesday practices. That's when the vets.
The other part of that is they play in a very tough division.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They still have to play the Ravens twice. They have to play the Steelers twice.
So I think the Bengals are my pick. It's nothing to do with Joe Burrow. It's not. I think Joe Burrow's going to be good. It's just I think
there's tons of weapons
are lining up for them to be like they're gonna. I can't see them doing much better than 4-12.
No,
4-12 that puts you right there. Like one game doesn't go your way, or 3-13. That might be.
That's what they were last year.
That might be the record, right? So I think the Bengals are my pick.
It's hard to argue with that. My pick is going to be
the Jets are they're probably the best competition.
Yeah.
I think.
I have a bit of a sneaky pick here that I'm going to go with. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers.
Now
Without
McCaffrey's
McCaffrey.
hurt.
Yeah, McCaffrey's going to be out for a while.
I've really liked. I mean, actually, never mind that. Never mind.
Teddy Bridgewater's a bit of like a dink and dunk quarterback, and I think now they're going to be. Their schedule gets a little bit tougher. They're playing in a division with a lot of, we were talking about earlier, high scoring teams. So he's going to be in a position where he's going to have to throw down the field like Drew Brees, and he's just hasn't proven in his career that he can do that. So I think I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers, and then they're going to have their chance to pick their franchise quarterback first overall, Trevor Lawrence.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think Matt Patricia is done. I think one or two more games, I think he's fired, and then I think that team is gonna spiral.
Did your friend Anthony Erickson tell you to say that?
No, but I just
This
think
is sponsored.
I just
content.
think he's gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Like the team.
I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't
Like
he's got probably on a hot seat now.
Darius
okay?
Slay,
time-
when he left for the Eagles, he was talking about how like Patricia's losing the locker room,
Yeah,
and like one or two more games, like what's the reason to keep him?
and it's a shame because you've got a good starting quarterback on
Yep.
a team, and you're basically just wasting his career.
They have
and-
wasted his career when
Yeah.
you look at it now. He's
And is
getting
it
up
kind
there.
of? Do you think it's kind of a curse for early in your career to be called a guru at any position?
Well,
Like Adam Gase, offensive guru. Their offense fucking sucks, and now it's like even more evident. It's like you're an offensive guy. Why aren't you scoring points?
And
Where it's
I-
like maybe they just don't have the weapons, but like the blame gets put more on Adam Gase than the weapons.
I think it definitely puts pressure on you.
Yeah.
But I think some people
like Patricia's like he's
some
the
people,
mad
like-
scientist, and they're giving up 40 points a game.
Well,
It's like, what are you doing?
Like
Like
Sean McVay was called a guru when he went to the Super Bowl. So
Yep.
some guys meet the expectations.
Yeah, but
it's like anytime a guy has a lot of hype around him, there's a target on your back.
there's
right?
more pressure. Yeah. So but I think that's just like I would if I was like obviously I'm not, but if I was like an NFL coach, I would want to like he's a defensive guy, but like I wouldn't want the guru tag.
yeah,
I think that's just too much pressure. And then you like can like Sean McDermott. I mean, I keep going back to my Bills because it's what I know most. But like he was known as a defensive guy, but nobody was like he's a guru.
it's definitely a good move in sports in general if you
Fly
as
under
like
the
an
radar.
ownership or even as like an ownership group or like someone running a team, if you bring someone in to like temper
Expectations.
Well, like Vincent LeCavalier when he got drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning and they're at the press conference, I can't remember who it was, if it was their GM or the team owner called him the next Wayne Gretzky. It's
Ew.
like, why? If I was Vincent LeCavalier, I'd have been like, I would have demanded a trade immediately.
Yeah, like
I'd have
shut
been
up.
Yeah, like shut
Yeah, that's
the fuck
insane.
up.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions because I think their division is gonna be hard to get out of too, and it's just gonna kind of like It's gonna pile up, and then the pressure on Matt Patricia is good, and then he's gonna get fired. I think he's gonna be the first coach fired. I think the Jets have a weird thing where they're just gonna stick with Adam Gase.
I think that division
And I
was
think
like
when
one
your
where
coach gets fired, like that's the end of your season.
that division at the beginning of the year, like I feel like you could have said it could
Most
be
wide open.
the best division of football, or it could be the worst, and it could have gone. It was like 4 teams that could have gone either way. And it looks like the Packers are really the only one that's breaking positive right now.
I trust
The Bears.
Zimmer, so
No, the
I
Bears.
trust
the Bears.
Yeah.
I
The
trust
Bears
Vikings are going the other way though.
Sorry.
I trust Zimmer though. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
come back to me.
Yeah, they
like, I
look
think
like
they're-
shit.
They have
their
but
offense is.
They have
Like
but-
Kirk Cousins has looked terrible. Like
Yeah, they have, but like they need to just start like why are like when I'm watching the Vikings games and they're like starting off the games like throwing the ball, like just do what you know, like run with Dalvin Cook.
We got a bit of a bias.
I hunt
he's been
100%.
good too in fantasy.
Yeah, but he's been saved by his touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a lot of yards.
No.
And he doesn't have a lot of carries either in comparison
Because they've
to
been
what
losing, right?
But they're not like
Yeah.
it's not like he's starting off like running the ball down people's throats.
Let Kirk cook.
Don't let Kirk cook.
let Cooks cook.
Yeah, seriously.
Is Josh Allen settling into being a true?
That's not.
That's
Start.
not what it says.
Okay, we can. I was just gonna expand on the question.
No.
We can read what it says.
Expand.
Is he settling in to be a true star quarterback?
I'm sure he's gonna go on a rant, so I'll just say my piece first.
I won't.
I will answer this question after this week. I am not putting stock in games against the 2 teams that they played.
Fair enough.
They're playing a real team this week. If he does what he did last week, this week, I'll come on here and say Josh Allen is for real. next week on this podcast. But I got to see it against the Rams.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there.
And I don't think that's really an unfair thing to say.
I've never been a big believer in Josh Allen either. But
he was unbelievable last week.
Yeah, he was.
But
He's been
it was unbelievable.
incredible
but
this year. But again, like you
against
said,
the Dolphins. So
I
think there is a little temper expectations a little bit.
Aaron?
But if he goes off against the Rams, then I think that's a real conversation now.
I think I don't see the star when you said star. That's what kind of was like.
Like, are you?
When you said has he made himself a
is
star?
Is he a top 10 quarterback in the league?
He has
is that
made
what your question
basically.
Is,
Yeah,
he has made himself a franchise quarterback. Is he a star? No, not yet, because of who he's played. I think he's proven that he can consistently get better, which is what you want out of a franchise guy, and he can play the system that we want him to play properly. And he can win games for you down the stretch. He is a franchise quarterback, and anybody that says he's not just isn't paying attention.
I'll be willing.
Is he a star quarterback? Not yet.
I'll be willing to entertain the conversation that Josh Allen is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL if he has a good game against the Rams this week.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
I think
he's a service, like he's their franchise quarterback.
That's what I mean.
No
right?
doubt.
But before the season started, people were saying, is he their guy? Is he their guy? I think he's confirmed that he's their guy because he's taken a step every single year. He's the guy.
Yeah.
But is he a star? I don't know yet.
Now?
I don't know yet. Yeah. I know I like what I've seen. I know I've liked what I've seen, and I know I like his willingness to just go to digs. Like, just use what you got. I love that. Because in the past our offense has confused me a lot with the way Daboll calls the game. Like when we used to have Frank Gore and he'd like run it like for 2 yards the first two, and then we'd have like something, and we'd just be like, all right, 3rd and 6, Josh, gun it. It's just like that's just not the way to win a game. And I think the way you win the game with Buffalo's offense is you just feed Diggs because he's going to get separation, and then you run the ball.
I think that's going to be a fun game. I think that's
going to be a great game.
Like the game of the week is obviously Ravens Chiefs.
Yeah.
But then right after that, I think you have that and Saints Packers. I think are the three. Those are the 3 best games of the week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that game, if you're building a franchise going forward, what quarterback are you taking? Are you taking Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes?
So if I'm building my team from scratch, I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Because I think you need, like we talked about this earlier, you need to build a certain type of team around Lamar. Whereas Mahomes, I feel like you can just plug in and be like, go crazy. Give him weapons and like go crazy. If you're building the team from scratch, I think Lamar's the pick. The Ravens have looked, they don't look stoppable so far. Like they look really good. But part of that is I don't think it's just Lamar. I think
it's a Greg Roman offense.
It's the offense they built around Lamar. You need Lamar. Lamar is like the key part of it. Yeah. You need him, but yeah, there's more to it than like just him. I think.
Yeah, it's a Greg Roman offense. That's what's succeeding with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson put on any other team, definitely like we don't know what we would see. Like we don't know.
Yeah,
but I mean, how old is Russell Wilson?
32.
32. So yeah, I guess not
Is he
Russell.
that old?
But he's the best quarterback in the league right now. Like watching him cook, as we've been saying, has been like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
31. He'll be 32 in November.
Yeah.
He's from Cincinnati. Should have came home.
Wow. So I mean, I would. My bias is coming through here.
He was just a Russell Wilson fact here. He was
like,
drafted.
I think Mahomes. Yeah, probably. I would say Mahomes. Probably that's who I'm taking. But my bias, the bias in me says
Mahomes,
after this,
I would have said Mahomes at the beginning of the season.
After this week, I might say Lamar, or I might say Josh Allen. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Some of the passes Josh has been making are like fuck.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But
I would take Burrow over Josh Allen.
I wouldn't. Not right now.
It's just the building.
They're
your
the same
franchise.
age.
No, it's not for this year. It's your franchise.
But they're the same age.
Yeah, but I'd still take Burrow.
He
has a higher ceiling.
I don't think so.
He's played 2 games.
Josh Allen has way more raw talent than Joe Burrow. Way more. Joe Burrow is a way better game manager. He's he's up here.
What I'd rather have.
Sure.
Than raw talent.
But you're saying ceiling. That's not what ceiling.
I'm saying if I'm building a franchise, I want.
But you said Joe Burrow has a higher ceiling. That's not what a high ceiling means.
I think he does.
That's not what that means though.
I think it does because it's harder to teach. Those are both hard things to teach. I think.
No, you can't teach raw talent.
You can't teach intelligence either.
You can.
Not
experience gains intelligence.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Joe
guys.
Burrow also has talent.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying he doesn't have as much as Josh.
No, but it's just gonna take you. Like you're a good game manager, but it still takes you a little while to maximize that in the NFL.
But they're also the same age, and Josh has 2 years in the league already.
Right.
Right.
So that means that Burrow has
So if you're
a lot more room to grow.
No,
because he's got the 2 years of experience.
No, but I think he is more what he is coming into the league than Josh was. And I'm a huge Joe Burrow guy.
I don't know.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow guy. I love Joe Burrow. But like if we're talking about like ceiling, Josh Allen can throw the ball. He threw the ball without taking. He didn't.
I'm definitely not taking Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson.
No, I'm not. That's why I said after this week, if he does what he has been doing, I might say him. Like I might, because of my bias, and that's why I prefaced it by saying my bias might make me say Josh Allen.
So
but Mahomes is the answer. Mahomes is the answer. But to make it interesting, I think
also I'm not taking Josh Allen over Kyler Murray either.
Yeah, probably not.
I think I would take Lamar. Just again, like if we're starting from scratch, like you said, you got to build a certain team. But I think Lamar is just this is maybe not how you build a football team, but Lamar is more fun to watch for me.
I also don't think we've seen Lamar like ceiling as a passer yet.
No,
like he's again we talked about this. He's 22.
Yeah,
like. He could end up. I don't know. He's getting better. Like
the only thing again that scares me with Lamar is health.
Yeah.
With quarterbacks like that, they don't tend to stay healthy for very long. So, he's gonna have to learn to, or he's gonna have to grow into being more of a pocket passer than he is.
Right.
But so maybe that's where Mahomes is the answer because he's already shown that he can do that, and he can hurt you with his legs too. He's not like a statue back there. So our last question now: has Justin Herbert officially taken over from Tyrod Taylor after the trainer punctured Taylor's lung while giving him a painkiller?
It's actually Tyrod now. That's the way he wants everyone to
Tyrod
pronounce
Taylor?
Yeah, Tyrod. That's what he says.
I thought it was Turks Taylor.
Turks Taylor.
Yeah.
Taking over for Turks Taylor.
Thanks, Shefty.
That's a pretty crazy
Or was it
start.
Rappaport?
I think it was Schefter.
Yeah, Shefty. All right.
It's like we'll get into that first a little bit. That's like, how does that happen?
A punctured lung.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had one.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it happens.
I think now that we know that,
But
like Anthony Lynn saying he's going to be our starter when he's healthy just makes so much more sense.
Because knowing
Because
what happened.
Yeah, you don't like you're going to stand by your guy if it's like your organization's fault that he's out and that he's losing his job strictly because of this.
Is he losing his job though? He's getting paid. Like people always like he's
His
losing
job is the starter. That's
when
the job.
people lose their job, it's like you don't get money anymore from this.
Yeah, but you're going into semantics. His job was to start this year. That's what he was named the starter. He's losing the starter job.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what everybody means by losing his job.
Right. But like
He's losing the starter position.
Yeah, like if I'm like, yeah, man, sorry that we punctured your lung, but like this guy's better than you and he's our future. Here's your millions of dollars to deal with it.
Sure, and I think that might happen, and it probably will happen.
It should happen.
But I think Tyrod is probably going to sue the team, like for a lot of money.
He might, yeah, and he'll probably win.
He will.
Although, like if it's an accident, like
it's negligence.
I'm sure there's some protection though for
yeah,
if
I don't know what actually happened.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Well, he had a cracked rib, and he was getting an injection to freeze it.
Yeah.
And then he went too far and punctured the lung.
Yeah.
So I don't know how common that is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what
that's
what
what
to find
but,
out.
and like was he being careless when he did it? Like I'm sure there's a lot that goes into this. Like was he like texting and injecting?
Don't do that.
Do not text and inject.
Yeah.
Because like there's things that like if you are going for like surgery and like a doctor hits like a vein or something, like I don't think you can sue. I think that's just risk. That's part of
Yes, you can.
the risk involved.
Dude, you know how many medical lawsuits go on in the States? Like,
But I don't think they win usually. I think it's usually like
they settle.
This is part
And
of
that's
the.
what's gonna happen.
This
They're
is
gonna
part of the deal here. It's a risky surgery. I don't know what the
most of those
procedure is.
don't win or lose. They just get settled.
That's
out
how
of court.
that's how most.
That's what's gonna
lawsuits
happen.
End. But
That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get a good settlement out of that.
yeah, would you sue the team in that if you were in that situation?
I think he's gonna have a lot of outside pressure to sue, even if he doesn't want to.
No, I'm saying you personally, if you like tried. I know it's hard because you're not.
Yeah,
in that
I would.
situation.
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't.
I would.
Because then how do you get like that'd be such a weird dynamic.
I'd be so.
Yeah,
I would be so.
Why
mad.
would you want to be on that team?
I would be
after you
furious.
sued
I would
them?
be furious.
I
would be
like, man,
furious.
I honestly wouldn't, but I'm not I don't really get upset about things. But I just be like, that sucks. It was
Dude,
an accident,
Dude,
Like
that's to
If
me.
he didn't
That's,
do it on
to- but
purpose.
to me, that sounds like a very, very basic procedure
yeah,
that he like.
it's a bad. He screwed up.
Yes, and
I'm
that's
sure
why
he already feels like
that's-
absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
he
I
might
don't give a
lose
shit
his
about
job.
his feelings.
I do.
My lung is
See, like
punctured.
I do. 'Cause
My
that
lung
that
is
guy makes a
punctured.
lot less money than me. That's
My lung is now punctured.
yeah.
Yeah, but that
that's
heals,
a
like-
very minor thing.
It sucks though.
Yeah.
I would be pissed. I would be really pissed, and I would probably sue. I can't put my. I think
I think it depends on how the team treats you going forward too. Like if like
I don't know, man. I think it's very understandable for him to sue for that.
I don't know. I think it's.
We don't have the same like suing culture in Canada.
No,
either.
we
I know, but I'm talking
they
about.
just do
I'm
that- they
I'm
just
not,
do
but that's
that
what I'm talking about.
instead.
Just you. I'm talking about you.
But it'll be
As what
under.
you know
it'll be
now.
understood a lot more than you guys think it will.
I don't.
Be.
I'm not talking about how other people.
But you guys are.
accept
Yeah,
it.
but you guys are. That's how you're using your argument. You're like, how do you continue with an organization after that? I think he's expected to sue. I think it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, like
I'm talking about you, the way that you know the world to work, the way that you see things. Would you sue? Like I wouldn't.
I would.
I would have a
I already don't. I'm not good with doctors already. I don't trust. Like I don't trust that shit. I would be upset and I'd be like, I'd be scared to like go back to that doctor ever again. That's just the way I am.
I would
Probably sue. I don't know if I would like try to like ruin the organization, but I'd want some compensation for that.
I just
Definitely.
yeah. I like it's just gonna be you're just gonna put yourself in an incredibly awkward position too, being a starting quarterback, suing the team.
But he's not gonna be starting anymore.
But they said he is.
well, like yeah, player on the team who's
I think
suing
he's gonna
the team
be.
is just a weird dynamic.
I think I would.
it's like when you sue like your employer and then you keep working. Like I never understand. Like, why do you want to do that? It's just weird.
But there's also like Lamar, like Tyrod will get a backup job somewhere else. He doesn't have to stay.
But
there.
if he, yeah, but he. So then what is if he's not staying there? Then what's
What's the point of suing? To get compensated.
I know, but then why is he so worried about
How-
losing his job? The whole point is this: like he's upset that he lost his job, so he wants to stay
You
there.
also got your lung punctured before a game where you were supposed to start, and you were the starter the whole year. You're losing your job. You're getting your lung punctured. A little bit of compensation isn't too much to ask for if you already know you're losing your job.
It costs him no money,
I know it doesn't.
so that
but
what
it's
does he need
still
to be compensated.
Yeah, but it's still damages.
Yeah, I guess there's no adverse health effects to a punctured lung.
Sure, dude. Whatever. I mean, we can argue in circles all day about whether you would or wouldn't sue. I would, and I think he's going to.
No,
'Cause that's just-
I know he's going to.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying-
just
but
malpractice.
I'm just saying,
Like, it's-
would you do it?
I don't think it's malpractice though, because it's not
It's
like,
negligence.
we don't know that
Yeah,
though.
I don't
like,
know.
You fucked up. That's like the
Yeah, it's not
definition.
That
exactly.
happens though. That's
yeah,
not like
people make mistakes.
Yeah.
like that.
On a
Mal-
standard procedure like that.
malpractice would be if he was
That's
doing
a
something
standard procedure. That's
Yeah,
very
I
standard.
don't know how common that is.
To like crack. I don't like to freeze a cracked rib. I think that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
wrong. I don't know. Like,
Let's move on.
Like
We're-
I feel
we're-
bad for the trainer.
So do I, but
Yeah,
that doesn't mean
that's-
that doesn't
that's
mean
where-
I'm not going to take legal action.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Different.
Like you're paid to do a
mindsets.
job and you didn't do it
Yeah,
properly,
that's-
and
I know.
I'm negatively affected by that. Sorry.
Yeah, but I also make like way more money than you.
Sure.
So like
That's capitalism.
you
baby.
losing your job is way more detrimental than me losing like not being able to start.
Yeah, but a
game.
doctor is they're not
It
like,
also-
they're not on food stamps.
it also
No.
might not have been the doctor. It could have been like an athletic
We
trainer,
don't-
right?
Yeah,
like,
we don't know.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Anyways,
Do you
I don't
wanna-
even think that wasn't even. Will he sue? Wasn't the question. It was like,
It turned
has
into that.
Justin
He will
Herbert
sue, 'cause it's the
has Justin
US.
Herbert taken over for Tyrod Taylor? And I think
Well, he has
I think
because he's gonna sue and try and get his job back, but he should.
I
They
think
should just be like, "Fuck you! This guy's better than you.
Yeah,
deal with it."
I
Make
think he
$6
has.
million.
I think he has taken over. I think Tyrod might get another start,
Yeah.
but I think that start will be a courtesy start.
There's too much like preciousness. The same thing shit was going on with like Eli in New York when they like benched him. I feel like people get so precious about like
Well, the Eli thing
this
was
guy
'cause
lost his. It's like the guy's a fucking multi-millionaire. Like,
Well, the Eli thing
he
was
can
'cause he was-
handle it.
The Eli thing was because he was on like a streak, wasn't it?
Yeah, but still,
It was like a record thing.
like just go.
It was
home
a
with
legacy
Your,
thing.
Go home with your money.
But,
I
like,
get it.
and he also,
I get
like,
the legacy.
Yeah, Eli wasn't good enough to keep playing though, too, right?
Yeah,
Which is part of
I'm
the
just saying
streak.
I get it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done the same thing if I was the Giants, but I'm saying I understand why some people were a little upset by it
All right, we're
because they were already not making the playoffs anyways. So it's like whatever.
we're over an hour in now, so let's move on to the
Is that the
NBA.
last question?
Yep.
Wow.
let's move on to the NBA here.
And if you guys want to see our picks,
Yeah,
we're gonna post another video after that, just like we've done the last 2 weeks of our NFL picks. That'll be about a 20-minute video. You can find it on our channel here. So if you're looking for that, that's probably the next video.
So the NBA now, playoffs are in full swing. Or the conference finals are in full swing. Obviously, the playoffs are in full swing. The Lakers are up 2-1 over the Nuggets, and last night the Miami Heat took a 3-1 lead over the Boston Celtics. I think the biggest story for me throughout these playoffs has been the coming out party for Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we've quite seen something like this in the playoffs before, where a guy just
literally just came out.
just
of nowhere.
turns into a superstar in the middle of the playoffs. Like, I've never seen, like, Pascal Siakam had a bit of this last year, but he was quite clearly the third best player on that team.
I think the last time you saw it, but it was more on like I think the defensive side than scoring was maybe
Kawhi, yeah.
when the Spurs won.
But he again, I don't think he was the best player on that team, or at least he wasn't.
We won Finals MVP.
Yeah, but
You could argue that Jokic is their best player.
you can still argue that. But I think
Jokic
Murray.
is like just crazy to watch.
It makes no
the
sense.
stuff he does
Like,
is-
yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
He reminds me of a guy that like maybe played like point guard his entire life and then had a massive growth spurt.
Yeah.
That's what happened to
Like, I
Kelly.
feel like that might be
Kelly Olynyk was
Yeah.
I think he went to Gonzaga as a point guard and then had his growth spurt while he was in college and had to redshirt because he had to like figure out his body. Like think of, like, isn't that
My
insane?
body's too
Like, I think he
crazy.
went there as a 6'3" point guard and grew to like 6'10"
Yeah,
in
that's
his
wild.
That's
like
awesome.
junior year or freshman year.
That's like just a blessing from the basketball gods. You're just like, oh, now I'm like definitely making the NBA. Like I'm a 6'3" guard, like maybe I'll make it, but like I'm a 6'10" like player at a major school
with balls
Yeah.
with point guard skills, but I'm 6'10".
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
making the NBA now. Like that's just like you like become 6'10" and you're like, oh shit, sweet. I'm gonna get millions of dollars
like-
now.
Some of those like fadeaways that Jokic does though, it just like
I love
it's
his
like he's just like throws
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah.
Out.
his 3-pointer is my favorite 3 in the league.
Yeah.
It's just a sky ball.
And-
Like it's just Arc
And
Arc
this
City.
man, I don't know. The Nuggets, the first game of the series, like they looked shook, and like I was like, "There's no." And I said this, I think at some point in every series, like, "There's no way they're gonna win."
Yeah.
Now I don't. They could. The game 2 was a coin flip. Davis hits that crazy shot, similar to not as cool as the OG one, but kind of similar.
Definitely not as cool.
And then they run them out of the gym in the end of that fourth quarter. Like Murray just starts hitting crazy shots
Do you think the Nuggets want to lose tonight? Do you think they want to lose game 4?
for the 3-1.
Go down 3-1.
I mean, you know that
They're undefeated when they go down 3-1.
that's the storybook.
Yeah.
But I think they try and win.
Speaking of 3-1, are the Celtics done?
I don't know. I don't know.
They don't look like the same team that was playing the Raptors. I don't know if
Gordon Hayward, they're better without him. It's the Ewing effect, as you brought up earlier.
he's a guy. He doesn't seem like he fits on that team to me. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what the point of him is.
They
almost.
already have 2 good wings.
Yeah.
Like they could use like a center because they already have a really good.
and
point
maybe
guard.
a true point guard though, because Kemba's not really.
He's kind of more of a scorer.
Yeah.
They don't have like a playmaking guard.
They don't
Well,
have
I
any
mean,
real playmaker.
it's not a
honestly.
big
Like,
deal.
Tatum.
They have 3 first-round picks. They can get one.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Dude, the Thunder have
Yeah.
Every
they're-
first round pick
In
for
the
the
next-
10 years.
Didn't you like say 15 or something?
15 first-round picks in the next 7 years, I think.
And they're going to trade Chris Paul. Probably they might trade Chris Paul this year too. They'll probably get 1 or 2 there.
Apparently, the Bucks, Chris Paul to the Bucks is a big.
I heard Chris Paul to the Clippers is another thing that's out there if they can make the money work.
Back
to
to
the
the
Clippers, but they
Clips.
don't have anything to trade. Like, what are they
Yeah.
gonna like? Get
the Bucks
Paul
would
George
be,
for Chris Paul?
would be interesting.
Yeah, the Bucks would be. Yeah. I don't know. Like, how are they gonna? like, we're getting off topic here, but I don't know how they're going to make that money work.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah, well, I don't
Like,
know.
is Chris Middleton going back the other way?
I
Like,
guess
that doesn't make you any
they've got
better.
Guys who make like Bledsoe makes a lot of money. I think.
That's fair, yeah.
That's something we gotta
God, he
stop doing.
sucks.
When I've listened back a couple of times, when we get like, we can't like stifle good conversations.
Yeah,
Like, just for the sake of what's there.
If it gets too off the rails, we'll just cut it out.
Fair.
Like,
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Like let's just have like that. That's an interesting conversation to have. Like if that's really a rumor, like him going to the Bucks, that's crazy.
Yeah.
well, because I think they're like, we
money-
need to get Giannis. We got to do something. Like
Bledsoe-
Giannis is gonna leave.
They should have kept Malcolm Brogdon
Yeah, that- they fucked
instead
that
of
up.
Bledsoe.
That
Like,
might
that's just the
cost.
reality.
That might cost them Giannis, like keeping.
Yeah.
Like not wanting to go into the luxury tax to pay Brogdon, like, because he was a restricted free agent too. They had the ability to keep him, and they even facilitated a sign and trade to move him to the Pacers. Like, what kind of message are you sending to your star player when you do that?
Bledsoe makes 16 million.
And Chris Paul makes like 35.
Yeah, you got George Hill makes 10.
Is he? I think he's a free agent though.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna be tough for them to make that work, but
You can always make it work in the NBA.
They could, yeah.
It's like they just pay the luxury tax.
but you got
or
to.
whatever.
If you're trading though, the salaries have to match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
You
that's
could
true.
pick, like, there's always ways around it, though. You trade for, like, some shit salary from another team, and then you turn that into it.
So I guess they could do. No, they do have George Hill. So they have Brooke Lopez, Eric Bledsoe, and George Hill. They were all bigger salaries they could move. But then
Is, like, that improving your team?
Do you want to split up
'cause-
the Lopez brothers?
because then you're at that would be 30. That would be
That's
about
kinda mean.
about $38 million right there that you're trading. So that would match up. But then like
Also, like, why do the Thunder want to do that?
yeah, they want to like 3 guys over 30 making
Yeah.
double-digit salaries.
So I don't know how.
I guess the
Maybe
lottery
just-
the lottery ticket would be you get a draft pick next year.
It goes to do, like, a 3-team trade, too, right?
You could, yeah, but I guess the Thunder would be thinking we get the Bucks first round pick next year, and if Giannis leaves, that could be the
yeah,
first
just
overall
throw the
pick.
Thunder a couple more
Yeah,
firsts.
yeah, that could be a
And
first
then
overall pick for them,
Sweeten it up,
right?
yeah,
Like,
for sure. Yeah, what were we originally talking about?
the NBA playoffs.
Right.
I don't know if you've
And
ever
then
heard
how
of
did we
those.
get into the Chris Paul talk?
We were talking about. I don't
We were
know, I
talking
don't remember.
about
We're talking about
we were talking about the Celtics and Gordon Hayward and why he doesn't fit with them.
Oh, right.
so and my original question was, do you think the Celtics are done?
I think. Well, this is again an obvious statement. They're in a lot of trouble. Like
Yeah.
they're in a lot of trouble.
I could
Hey,
see. I wouldn't
Hey
be.
Fence, can I take a seat?
I wouldn't be that surprised if they came back, but I don't know.
They just have not looked like the same team to me when I watch them.
This
Like
Miami team is
that
don't lose.
zone defense that they played, like,
And they get every game another guy. Like Tyler, it was Tyler Hero last game,
Mm-hmm.
35 or whatever.
and he was on he was Jamal Murray in that
Like
game.
they don't need it's Butler will have games where he gets 6 points and
Yeah.
they roll teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have so much. They have just next man up. They have like 7 different guys who can be the guy on a certain night. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Bam will do it. Dragic.
Butler.
Duncan Robinson can have a huge game.
Kendrick Nunn,
Jay Crowder's been
Yeah.
going off. Like it's crazy.
Solomon Hill was playing yesterday. Like apparently he hadn't played since like
Where do we
February.
get the Udonis Haslam game off the bench?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can only hope to contain him.
Myers Leonard he hasn't played a minute in these playoffs, I don't think. He's like the #1 bench cheerleader in the league right now.
Is he?
Watch their games. He's always like, every time they score, they show him on the bench. He's just, like he was starting for them at the beginning of the season.
And we can't talk about the Heat without talking about Tyler Hero. Like
That's
guy.
he went on. He was 35
unbelievable.
points.
37.
And it was just like every time he got the ball, you thought he was going to score. Like when there's certain guys that get in that zone where it's just like, yeah, there you go. Like there's one.
Yeah, so he scored the most points by a 20-year-old since Magic put up 42.
Is that good?
Wow.
It's pretty good. It's not bad. Magic's a pretty good.
Was he?
He's a pretty good player. Right?
His name sounds familiar.
Irvin Johnson?
Yeah.
Yes, that's who it is.
I'm not familiar with the nickname.
Irving.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tyler Hero's unconscious. When did he go? Was he a top 20 pick?
Think so.
Yeah, he was like late teens, I think,
Yeah,
I want to
So-
say he was 18.
or maybe
But-
a little earlier.
a little bit of a steal there.
Yeah, you would think, yeah.
He was kind of struck me as a guy
13.
whose game maybe wouldn't have translated that well to the NBA, but I was obviously wrong. Because you've
It's
got
working.
yeah,
It's definitely working.
he looks like he
Kentucky
is.
guards, man, they're coming out in these playoffs with Murray and Hero.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna see them match up in the finals.
Wow.
What are your What's your give me a percentage of Nuggets winning the series?
5?
5%.
Five?
I'm definitely higher
Five?
than that. I'll give him like a 25 to
Are
30.
you more confident in the Nuggets or Celtics?
Probably the Celtics.
Yeah.
Nuggets.
But it's close.
I'm more confident in the Nuggets.
They're yeah,
I've seen them do it already.
yeah.
I think
It's a bad matchup for them though. Like that first game, that all the alley, even like Dwight Howard's coming in, they have no answer for him. Like Jokic can't guard those kind of like Howard,
No.
Davis. Like he just
and they can guard him.
and they're putting yes, and
Yeah.
they're putting, even though I don't know, he's still scoring when he wants. Like Jokic is like that one
Well,
play.
He's really good, right?
That
Like, he's
game
gonna
before
score.
Anthony Davis hit that game winner, the Nuggets were down
He
one.
went on an
20
11-0
second
run?
With the 20 seconds left, and they're just like, with Anthony Davis on him in the post, here's the ball, and he just went like back him down,
Yeah.
back him down, back
Yeah.
him down, boom, and then they left 1 second left, which was the mistake. But
The hard thing with him is that it's like you can't double him either, right? Because he's such a good passer that he'll just find Jamal Murray in the corner or something and burn you.
yeah, the problem with them though is he's been getting into foul trouble, and then they're putting it's like, okay, Mason Plumlee, you're on Davis now.
He sucks.
It's like,
like he's
Millsap, I guess, can do a little bit, but he's not really tall enough.
old and he's
Yeah,
undersized.
it's a tough matchup for them, but you can't count out the Denver Nuggets.
So if you had to name the best young scorer in the NBA right now, would it be Tyler Hero or Jamal Murray, or would you go off the board?
Young scorer.
Luka Doncic.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Trae Young.
Luka Doncic.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. Trae Young's like incredibly inefficient though, right?
Is
Like,
he?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Trae Young's he's like if you built the team around Lou Williams, that's what would happen.
He
takes a lot of shots.
He's
Yes.
probably a little better than Lou.
Man, I don't know. Like Lou in his prime, if you just built a team around him, that's
Does
what
he
it would look
nutmeg
like, I
people
think.
like Trae Young though?
Who, Lou?
Yeah.
I'm sure he would
Not like Trae though.
probably not like Trae.
Trey does it like every game. He'll just like set and who was it that got like really pissed at him when he tried to do it on him?
I don't know.
And he was like, not against me, and he like stared him down.
No, I don't remember that.
No, okay,
But do you want to talk about the MVP stuff with LeBron?
sure.
I guess he was critical of.
So he's done this before.
He was critical of the announcement
He
because
gets a little. He
Pissy?
complains about how many votes he gets and
Yeah.
stuff. Now,
I think he's got a point for lots of
the
different
thing-
times in
he,
his career.
and he referenced something which makes complete sense. I don't think you need to you're ruining the moment for other guys.
Yeah, I think.
So he referenced when bringing this up. He didn't even say I don't think Giannis should have been MVP. He said he was pissed he only got 16 first place votes.
Right.
But I think if you're pissed, I think it's you thought you should have been the MVP, which is I don't mind that mindset. I don't have a problem with that mindset at all. If you good players should think they're the best. I just don't come out and take the moment away from other guys.
I don't know if you remember the moment in the regular season where I think it was Bucks Lakers and I think Giannis dunked, or he might have stolen the ball from LeBron, and afterwards he put the crown on his head.
Yeah.
I don't think LeBron forgot about that.
No, I don't think he did
LeBron
either.
remembers that.
But you don't need let your play.
Oh, LeBron is the
speak.
petty king.
Yeah, but I'm like,
But in LeBron's defense though,
he should have more than 4.
no, but it also in his defense about being the petty king, Michael Jordan does shit like that, and people are like, yeah, that's right, he's the GOAT, and then LeBron does it, and people are like, oh, he's petty.
Jordan makes up a story about a guy chirping.
But I
him,
don't think
and-
Jordan ever complained about, because in Michael Jordan should have been the MVP every year he's in the league,
Yeah.
probably. I don't think he was ever bullshit that Charles
Not-
Barkley got MVP.
He did.
not publicly. I don't know if
No.
you watched that documentary though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
But that's fine.
all right, I took that personally.
Don't do it in a press conference.
Yeah, no, I guess. But
He also said Marc Gasol. He talked about in when the year Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron was up for it that year. He finished second in voting, and I remember at the time he complained about it. And then he brought up a good point. Marc Gasol won it and got second team All Defense,
yeah,
which is ridiculous. But I don't know.
That's a flaw in the.
You're still bringing
yeah.
up an award 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you I know you're really concerned about your legacy, but Just let your play do
Yeah.
the talking. You don't need to complain
You're right.
about it in
And
press
it is
conferences.
a little bit like what more do you want, man? Like
And I don't think he's doing like when he does that stuff. I don't think anyone's sitting there like, yeah, he's right. I think he's just making people be like, shut up, man.
yeah.
Like he's not helping the cause by
No.
bringing that up.
No.
Yeah, I just think it's a little petty. Like
It is. It definitely is, but I get where like he does like I don't think he's wrong.
And I
in anything
think
he
Giannis
said.
was the MVP.
This
I think
year,
you
yeah.
take Giannis off the Bucks, they're in a worse situation
That's
than
always a thing too.
LeBron
where,
off
like,
the Lakers.
Like the one MVP that people I think would like to have back was the Westbrook one, where he was just like
oh yeah.
basically cheating to get triple doubles.
Honestly, and like it pains me to say this as a Canadian. Like the first Steve Nash one was ridiculous too. Shaq should have been the MVP.
Yeah.
Shaq brings that up all the time.
Dude, did you see when
He was
did you
averaging
see
like 13.
They interviewed him when he
TCF?
became the coach. He's like, "Hey Steve, where do you keep those MVPs you stole from me?"
Well, 'cause
And then, and then Nash was like,
Nash was like, "You gotta hit a free
he's like,
throw."
I don't know if
It's
you
like-
can be an MVP if you're shooting 40% for the free throw.
yeah.
That's like one of the best shows on
That
TV.
is 100%. That's the best. Yeah.
It's the best like halftime show.
Like hands down.
I'm talking about
not
like just shows.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Like just entertainment
Game
value.
of
Like
Thrones, TNT.
yeah.
Game of Zones.
Yeah, Game of
NBA on
Zones.
TNT.
Yeah.
Any more in the NBA here?
I don't have anything else
Yeah.
No, I think the title is
other than everybody wants a Nuggets Heat final. That's everybody.
everybody's been saying it.
Yeah. Everybody
You
wants
know that Adam Silver wants a Lakers Celtics final.
it. Oh yeah.
Yep.
But they'll see what happens with
He's
the
pissed the
Celtics.
Nuggets are there now.
Yeah.
He was like,
Although Heat versus LeBron,
that's good
that's
too.
a good storyline too. 'cause
Miami's not really
Spoelstra.
sports fans though, which is a problem. Like like they're one of the most fickle fan
The NBA
bases.
can turn that into a good story though.
Yeah, for
You
sure
got
they can,
LeBron
yeah.
against his old coach.
Yeah.
Haslam's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Haslam's there.
well, he's like his old
LeBron
teammate.
Haslam. The NBA Finals.
You got Dwayne. Who's Dwayne Wade going to be cheering for? He's got his
Yeah.
best friend. He's got his old team.
He'll have like the split
The half
jersey,
jersey.
or a LeBron
I would
Heat
actually.
jersey.
He should have the Heat jersey on. I'd be
Yeah.
pissed if he wasn't cheering for the Heat.
Yeah.
So moving on to the NHL, we got the Stanley Cup Finals going on. It is officially 2-1 Lightning.
Yeah.
Your
I don't
body's
know.
Over
in a
the
tough
Dallas
spot.
Stars.
I don't know about you guys. This is the least. I know it's a bit of a unique situation. This is the least interested I've ever been in a cup finals.
Last
You
year,
need-
last year was
That
the
too.
winner. Like
Yeah,
last year.
I
was
don't know,
tough.
man. You need fans. Like
You
you just
fans?
need fans.
And I
Like,
think they're the league that suffered the most from everything else happening at the same time. Like they're going up against football now, which is like something they would never
Like,
really have to worry about.
and I
for
was
the playoffs.
I was thinking about it too. Like
Were you actually like? I was way less interested last year. I'm still not that interested, but I was with the Raptors, man. The
Yeah.
Raptors, like I didn't
But I
even
think
watch a game.
The reason I was less interested was because of the Raptors, right?
Right.
Where I'm just disinterested this year. There's nothing. Like maybe it's just everything else is taking my attention.
Well, there's
but
like
it's
a lot of stuff going on. The
you're
Jays
right.
are about to go in the playoffs.
But I think it was-
NFL's going on.
it's just not playoff hockey to me. Like it's
Hey,
like
I-
in the bubble. Like I'm watching it. I'm like it seems silly. Like some of the scuffles after the
Yeah.
whistle. It's like it just doesn't seem the same without like fans losing it. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. Like there was a scuffle like at the end of last game where it was just like
I know what you
it was
mean.
4-2 and it's like oh like I'm loving the energy. And it's just like I can't feel the energy without that crowd there as well. Like
I
I,
think
don't know.
it's-
It just doesn't feel like playoff
It's the
hockey to me.
sport to me that suffered the most from the lack of fans. Because I
Yeah.
think the one thing that the NBA benefits from is that the players are always in the shot. Like the benches are always in the shot when something's happening, and you can see them going nuts. And I think that adds to the energy. Plus, the players are more outgoing than the NHL
I don't know
players.
how they. The NBA is just like a soap opera. Too.
Yeah,
they
dude,
always
it's-
like. They can just create like I don't know why there's always like like Tyler Heroes are going
Yeah.
off now. Like it's like something always
There's-
is happening.
And I think I heard somebody say this on the radio. I think it was Justin Bourne. He said the NHL is like when you're in it, and it'll keep your attention when you're in it. But if you drift away from the NHL for a bit, it is so hard to get back into following the NHL. Like whereas the NBA can pull you
It's
in.
like
'cause
the
they're
NHL. You need to be invested in the
you need
characters.
to keep. If once you stop watching, you're.
but then it's
toast.
like
Dude,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like the NHL is that's my number one league. I love the NHL. It's
Yeah.
what I grew up with. But like even this year, like I was like, why some of the goalies that were starting, I was like, why is this guy starting?
right? Like-
I was like, And then everybody who's like been following it's just like, why would you want Ben Bishop? Khudobin's been sick. I'm like, probably because it's Ben Bishop and it's fucking Khudobin. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't think you're alone too. I think a lot of people who have been long time, like a lot of my buddies who have been longtime hockey fans, have just said it's hard to focus on the NHL this year.
It's just
the way things.
The story, like there is. Story.
And the Leafs were the part of it too. The Leafs were smoked early, and it's just like I think a lot of people were like, okay, let's focus on the Raptors.
Cut us out at the knees.
Yeah, and then once you started watching the Raptors, you kind of got drawn into the NBA storylines more than you were the NHL storylines, and that just kept your attention over that way.
There's storylines in there's storylines in the NHL, but I think like you said, you need to be like deep to find them.
Exactly.
You have to be deeply invested to find them.
One storyline.
The Stamkos one that's the one. That's their one like NBA storyline that they have.
And it sucks though because
it might be done now.
It's over. Yeah, like his return is now over, and it was like.
Is he done? Like, is that
I
official?
Think so.
Yeah, but they
I don't know that.
Right.
But like I think.
I think it's cool that he got to score a goal, especially if they win. Like he was a part of it.
Is he gonna come get the cup now if they win?
He should.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, he's the captain, right? So I would think he would. But
it would be sick. It would be a bold move. Like
Kucherov.
No. If they just like dressed him in the last game.
They just sat him on the bench.
He just doesn't go on the ice, but they dress him.
I would really like that.
That would be so
I actually
cool.
would really like that.
And it would be like a ballsy move because you're down a player, but
yeah,
that would be sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
that's one of those things that like it sounds good on paper, but then if like they do
you
that and
like
lose,
I don't think,
like lose a defenseman or something.
You know what though? I don't think you dress him. I think you have him dressed.
Yeah, that would happen
in the dressing room.
Yeah, they'll
and
probably
just have him walk.
But how cool would it be if they actually dressed him?
Yeah. Because
did he put him on the lineup?
I had forgotten about
lineup?
this.
Yeah.
When Crosby won his first cup, he got hurt in that game and didn't play in the third period. And he came back out and got the cup.
He had played in the game.
Yeah,
he played in the game.
And then he got shit for it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, you can go out and lift the cup, but you can't stay out there. It's like, oh,
he also,
I had, like, totally
he also
forgotten about
didn't
that.
shake. He missed a handshake and that, so he got a lot of shit.
Yeah, that was another thing, yeah.
He didn't shake Lidstrom's hand.
Is that what it was? Or it was like he didn't?
He was like there was too much I don't think he didn't do it intentionally, but like he was like celebrating and like the handshakes were going on. He never shook Lidstrom's. Like the two captains never shook hands.
I thought there was one where he like took too much time getting his team to the.
He got there
Maybe
late,
that was the second cup?
but Lidstrom went first. And by the time he got to the handshake line, Lidstrom was already off. And like all the Red Wings players were
Maybe that's what it was.
were like, their captain doesn't come shake our captain's hand. Like what the fuck's up with that?
Yeah, that's just them being salty.
Yeah, for sure. But that he got shit for that.
So I didn't see this. Like you guys put this in the doc here, like potential of an all Canadian division next season. I didn't hear about that.
So that's one thing that I've heard thrown out a bit. It's because of the border restrictions.
I get it. I get why. I just didn't hear the story.
So that like I think the idea would be, it might not be you just play the Canadian teams all year, but at least at the beginning, it's only going to be the Canadian teams playing each other, and then hopefully things open up later in the year and you can go down south and play those games. But at least it would start off. And the way, just me kind of spitballing here, the way I think you would do it, just go.
So hard to make a schedule that way.
Like two separate schedules, you mean?
Well, just like with all the question marks surrounding it, it's like when do you end just the Canadians playing?
Which is why I think they probably have two schedules. One where the Canadian teams just play each other all year long.
I always thought it would have been even like forget the pandemic, just having an all Canadian division would be
cool.
Just so you want to talk about like story, like staying invested in the NHL. For me, like even without the Leafs, just when there's any Canadian teams involved, even ones I hate, I'm way more invested.
Yeah.
And when they're playing each other,
I think the media is more invested too.
That's part of it,
yeah,
for sure.
but I get into it too. Like even when the Senators are making a run, I'm more invested.
Yeah.
And I think when Canadian teams are playing each other, it's way more fun for everyone in Canada.
Part of it too, like, do you know any? Like, have you ever come across a Dallas Stars fan in your life?
No.
Or a Tampa Bay Lightning fan?
I've come across a Lightning fan.
Yeah, I don't remember any in my.
I don't respect.
But I
them,
think
though.
I've
when
come
you have 7 teams in Canada and you're fucking cheering for the Lightning, like go fuck yourself.
I've definitely come across fans of all the other Canadian teams though in my life. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from.
So I think
the
that
cities.
probably adds elements to knowing people who are.
And
fans
yeah,
of
like
those
well, I know, like I have like friends
who are exactly.
I think I have a like pretty good friend who's a fan of every Canadian team. Maybe not yeah, I'd have a sense like yeah.
All of my good friends are Leaf fans, which I don't know. There's not a lot of.
You don't have like any like acquaintances who are friends.
I
of other
know
teams,
people.
though?
Yeah, I know people who are like.
I probably
fans
have.
and
It's probably easier for me
fans.
because I'm from like Western Canada, so I know Canucks
just-
fans, I
yeah.
know Oilers fans, I know Flames fans, I know Jets fans, and then I feel like everyone knows Habs fans.
Mm-hmm.
Senators are probably the one that's like the most rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if they
so-
do exist, it's literally like they care more about like the Leafs losing than the Sens winning.
The way
It's like how Senators fans are.
yeah.
Yeah.
The way I would do it next year, I think what you would have to do is you do the 7-team Canadian division and just they play each other all year long, and then you have 3 divisions in the States that play each other all year long, and then you do playoffs in like within the divisions.
That would be
Like
fun,
how
too.
cool would that like
That
the
would be
top
fun.
4 teams in the Canadian division make it and they play each other in the playoffs.
And then we'd at least have a fucking
You could
Canadian
have-
team in the final
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right?
next. How about
Yeah.
next week? I'll write this down. Next week we come with our plans.
yeah, like we did with the NFL.
Yeah.
Make the
yeah.
divisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think by then
So
the
you need,
cup might
but
have
you
been
need,
given out.
you need 8. I guess.
7, so 7.
Yeah, Seattle's not there, right?
Right.
So you go 7, 8, 8, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
It
So
works.
yeah.
So a West, a Central, and an East, like, and then
And
a Canadian. Like I think that would be unreal for 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then. Yeah,
And just you playing within your division
and then
like
pitch
baseball
your
did.
pitch your playoff format
Yeah.
from that
So
as
I'm
well.
gonna-
So let's do that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
add
we'll do
that to the doc
And then
right
like
now.
man, like you just do 4 teams from every division, make the playoffs.
Like save it.
And-
Save it.
Oh, I
doing
wanna do it
next-
now.
We're doing it next week. I know I talked with stifling conversations, but
I
this
know
is a
it's a
conversation.
tease. That's
yeah,
a
it's a tease.
tease.
It's a conversation for next
Is
week.
there 30 days in September?
Yeah, 30 days has September, April, June, and
So
November.
October for wow. We're in
I just do
October
my
next
knuckles,
week.
but that's not very efficient.
No, I just remembered that.
So yeah, another thing. It looks like Alex Pietrangelo is going to hit the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any chance the Leafs can get in on that?
There's a chance.
Do you think they like? I don't. It's going to be tough in my mind to see the money work.
Yeah,
but
that's like the big.
Nylander's got to go.
That's like the big.
Freddie.
That's like the big Leafs storyline right now. Is just like anything to do with the Leafs. It's like somebody like but Pietrangelo maybe. It's like I don't know, man.
well, the
I'd
one,
love to see it happen, but I just can't see it happen.
the one advantage the Leafs are going to have is that a lot of teams are going to be kind of cash strapped this year with the pandemic. Like whether or not the NHL is losing money, but a lot of the owners like
I
side
keep
businesses.
seeing people being like, "Let's rinse Florida for
What would you?
Ekblad."
What
Yeah.
would you think of? What do you?
I keep seeing.
What do you
people
think of
saying
this?
that.
You'd probably have to throw some sprinklings in on both sides, but the 15th pick to the Ducks for Manson.
No, I don't like that.
I don't know if I want to do that either.
Really?
Like, Manson's older than you think he is.
I know,
Manson's
but
like-
he's good.
He's
Yeah.
good, but is he first round pick good? I don't know.
I
Because
don't.
there is a guy that could be available at 15 that Bob McKenzie, Craig Button, all the
That's-
like main guys have said he could play next year. Braden Schneider,
But he's not gonna be as good as
he might not be, but
Josh Manson.
he might not be, but he would be on a rookie deal, and then you could
Yeah.
afford other things, right?
We need
So-
a guy who can play a top pair minutes with Morgan Riley.
Sure,
I don't know that Manson can do that
Sure.
either.
I think he can.
Maybe he'd
Yeah,
be
but
there.
it's-
Well, he'd
but
be
that's not
there.
a guarantee,
Right.
either. Like it's not like a. He would definitely be.
He'd
like,
be the best option on our team.
Right, but
I'd
Tyson
say
Barrie was
Muzzin's
that
are.
last
I'd say
year, right?
Muzzin's are
Well,
best.
my,
choice.
play with Riley?
Muzz and Hall is a pairing, though. I think
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah. So is that it with the NHL?
I
I
just
just
think
think
there's
a way
other-
different player than Tyson.
There's
Barrie.
also
Yeah, for
there's
sure.
other
He's like a
available
complete
guys. Like
opposite.
there's Ekblad. I think
but that's
Hamonic.
going to cost even more.
Hamonic is up. I think right now.
If you want Ekblad, you're trading Nylander or you're trading the first. And
I'd
like
be fine.
other
I'd be fine
things.
with trading Nylander, to be honest.
If you didn't trade Nylander, what would you have to trade to get Ekblad? Like the first, Janssen and like Liljegren,
Is that enough?
Sandin.
I don't
I'd
know.
probably
That's
say
enough.
Sandin.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
It is a lot.
I would do that. I would do that before
And it-
trading.
But
Set-
then,
Nylander.
then you're in
he's-
then you're in like like
But
what,
he's
you gotta
seven.
get rid of money.
He's at 7.5 for 4 more years, and 7.5 for a top pair
So
defenseman
Anderson's
is
gotta go
actually
for sure.
is actually pretty good.
But I would do like, yeah, Nylander. Like I think they would enter. I don't know,
I don't know, man.
the-
I think
the
Dubas
appeal
is
to them
like,
with
he
Nylander
does-
is-
I don't think he wants to trade Nylander.
but the appeal to Florida with Nylander is going to be that all his money's paid. Like,
yeah.
Like a huge portion of his contract has been paid. So maybe his value is higher than it'll ever be because of that right now. Yeah. So are we done with the NHL? Or we have anything else? To throw
No,
out
we
here?
can talk about the NHL awards that just got.
Oh, yeah, that's
that
right.
just got.
I
handed
honestly
out.
don't even know who. I know who won the Hart. That's it. Yeah,
So that,
maybe
but that
bring-
was the
bring me
biggest.
through it.
Well, the Hart was the biggest. It was the biggest controversial decision because a lot of people thought it should have gone to McKinnon.
Well, I don't
And
like the way
The fact that it's just
that the
most
NHL
points.
gives out the Hart. Leon Draisaitl's not the best player on his team.
No.
No.
They'd like to just give it to the guy who got the most points. They already have an award for that.
Yeah.
That's the Art Ross.
Yeah, like Corey Perry won the Hart Trophy. He was significantly not as good as Ryan Getzlaf. Like he got the most points that year. Ryan
And he-
Getzlaf was
yeah.
way more important to that team than Corey Perry. I
So-
don't like the way they do it.
So top 5 in voting was Draisaitl 1, McKinnon 2, Panarin 3, Pasternak 4, McDavid 5, and then Hellebuck got 6th. which is interesting.
Who won the Vezina?
Hellebuyck.
Okay.
Yeah, Hellebuyck won the
Who won the
Vezina.
Norris? Oh, Yossi.
Yossi. And Yossi was 7th in Hart Trophy voting. So
Where did Yossi finish in deep defenseman points?
in points, I think he was 2nd.
Yeah.
Let me just check that.
Carlson was first, right?
By a landslide.
Yeah. I like that. They
I like
just
that
give it
too.
to him. Because I also another thing I hate about the Norris is it's just like, oh, Eric Carlson every year.
That was John Carlson.
I know, but when Eric Carlson was like
Yeah.
getting 90 points a year.
Yeah, Yossi had 65 points and Carlson had 75.
Yossi's so much better than him.
Way better. Yossi or Hedman are my picks for best
Yeah,
defenseman in the
I
league.
agree.
I think Hedman is going to win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, because he's got the most amount of goals, I think.
He's
in the
got
playoffs
10
right
goals. The only two
now. Or active, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, there's only 2 defensemen that have gotten more goals in a playoff than him, and it's Paul Coffey and I think Ray Bourque.
Does that include his qualifying round? Or his
He didn't have to play
the round robin thing
no,
that they
I
did?
don't think so. It might. I don't know. It might.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Are they counting that in playoff points?
They are, yeah.
They are, yeah.
For like career playoff points?
Yeah, which
I
is
don't-
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
'Cause,
he's,
like,
so he's
that
got
was-
10. I think he's their MVP
Hedman?
of the playoffs, yeah.
I think he just in general. Well, yeah, I think in general he is.
Like,
Well,
I think
Kucherov.
Yeah.
right now, I think
Palat's been really good in the playoffs, but I don't think you give it to Palat.
like the Conn Smythe, I think, is between Hudobin and Hedman at this point, right?
They have
Isn't I don't even I haven't looked at like the playoff scoring. Isn't Braden Point up there? Like so I just heard someone on TV be like, Braden Point, you gotta think he's in the running for the Colin Smythe.
Yeah.
the other close. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say that was just branching off. Like that's my Conn Smythe prediction.
Who won the Jack Adams?
I think it was. Where the hell is it?
Nick
I don't know
Nurse.
if that's been named yet.
I think it was named like earlier. It was
Yeah. Was it Trotz?
I think it was Trotz.
I think it was Trotz.
It's well deserved. He probably should just get it.
But the
every
next
year.
closest was the Calder Trophy, where
Oh,
the
Bruce,
argument.
Bruce
Bruce
Cassidy.
Cassidy won that.
But
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
I don't like that. Yeah,
They're
fuck
like,
that.
Well, just usually they like give it to like a team that wasn't supposed to be good.
Yeah, and they were definitely supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Fuck off, Bruce.
Whatever. But the Calder, Cale Makar versus Quinn Hughes, 2 of the best young defensemen in the league.
And who got it?
Cale Makar got it, but it was very close. Like it was very close.
They're pretty good, eh?
Did Quinn
yeah, they're
Hughes
not bad.
complain about how many first place votes he got? in
No,
his
no,
press
he didn't
conference?
LeBron it, but he could have LeBroned it.
Yeah, he should have.
I'd be more interested if he LeBron.
Connor
it.
McDavid should have LeBroned it about his own teammate.
Yeah.
That would have
Imagine-
been
yeah.
spicy.
Yeah. Oh, here's another trade I heard. Speaking of the Oilers, Janssen for Adam Larson straight up.
I would do that.
Would you do
In a
that?
heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
I don't know if they'd want to do it,
No,
but
they wouldn't. I don't think so.
I don't know how that makes them better.
somebody I saw like pretty.
I mean, it
credible-
gives them someone to put on. Like I think Janssen with McDavid could be. Like,
Yeah,
sick.
that's why
Yeah.
they'd want to do it. Just like you're turning what you
I had
traded
heard that-
Taylor Hall for into Andreas Janssen.
Just a left wing who's nowhere near as good. Like,
but I would do that.
but I guess like the
we would do it. I
Ken
don't know
Hall
if they would.
didn't make that Taylor Hall trade, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I heard Taylor Hall to Colorado is like a,
Oh.
which would be
Then they're gonna get the
Yeah, they're gonna get
they're
the
gonna
first
tank.
overall pick.
Taylor Hall's a cancer, man.
So yeah,
he'd be good on that team.
yeah, that's the NHL.
He'd be a real good fit on the Oilers right now.
yeah, those are
Taylor
the
Hall,
NHL
yeah, he would
awards.
actually.
Yeah.
Another thing, the SEC. I don't know. College football
Yeah.
starting this. Like
The
I mean,
SEC
it's
is.
already started, but I think the SEC. I don't know. Is the Big Ten?
They haven't. I think they voted. They're not playing till like.
Yeah, they're playing later.
What's gonna go on with the national championship this year? Have they like? the playoffs?
I don't know yet. I'll get back, but
Is it-
SEC starts this weekend, which is the premier college football conference. So
I'm a Midwest guy, but
yeah, you're a Big Ten guy, right?
no, the
I thought you were Ohio
American,
State.
the American Athletic Conference.
Oh, you're the AAC.
Yeah, huge
Yeah,
AAC
You're a
guy.
Clemson guy.
I think. Not the fuck. What's
Atlantic
The,
Coast.
no, the one that Cincinnati plays in. It's like a made-up conference.
I don't know.
We will be editing this.
Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna restart the segment if we're gonna edit it.
joking.
Do it anyways.
Oh yeah. So I'm reading here that the SEC is coming back and this Saturday. So my LSU Tigers are gonna be going up against Mississippi State.
Burrowless.
Joe Burrowless, Jamar Chaseless, which is our.
Did he opt out?
He opted out, yeah, which sucks because he's like
Future Bengal Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he's one of the best receivers I've ever seen at college football.
gonna
And I
be like-
kind of wanted to see if he was the same player without Burrow. I really wanted to
That's
see
a
that.
lot of responsibility to take on, I think, if you're opting out.
LSU is such a they DBs and corners. Just like there's something in the water in Louisiana. They
DBU.
yeah, but like also receivers. Like think about the receivers that have come out of there recently.
Yeah.
Like DJ Chark, like obviously Odell, Landry,
Jefferson.
You got Jamar Chase coming out now.
Did you say Beckham? You say Odell?
Yeah, Odell. There's some people that I'm forgetting, but like they're like really solid receivers that like randomly like I like forget that they're from LSU half the time. But yeah, that's
College football, like I've seen it on a few times. It just
Yeah.
feels weird to me that it's because it's so disjointed, right? Like because some
Well, yeah,
conferences
they're
are
not all
playing,
going,
and
yeah, so
it's
it's
a
weird.
weird thing. So I haven't really been able to look into it that
yeah.
much.
I'm gonna start getting into it now that sports are kind of calming down and it's just gonna be NFL and
college football
and baseball playoffs pretty much. So I'm gonna start getting more and more into that. Maybe you guys pick a team for the sake of the podcast.
Can I take the Bowling Green?
Gonzaga.
Whatever the
They
hell
don't
their
have a
team
football
called.
team. I don't even,
Go Duke!
they don't even have a program.
So yeah, that's the podcast this week. I guess.
Hypothetical?
Oh yeah, our hypothetical. The hypothetical this week, kind of like branching off of the NHL awards.
Oh, Gonzaga does have a team.
Is there an award in
No.
any sport
No.
that they don't have?
No.
Is that what we're gonna do?
No, the NHL isn't giving. You're not getting your day with the cup.
Oh yeah, we're doing that one. Okay.
Yeah, you're not getting. So yeah, you go ahead.
You go.
All right, I'm gonna take over the hypothetical this week. That might get edited out.
Well, that
too.
was
We'll
your
see.
that was your hypothetical.
Fair enough.
You thought of it. I mean,
So-
I'm not gonna take credit for something I didn't.
The NHL is getting rid of the. I guess probably because of the pandemic.
Definitely
I'm
because of the
assuming they're gonna have this next, then whenever they can. But traditionally, you won the cup. You get your day with the cup. You can take it wherever you want. You can take photos with it. You can show your family.
And COVID lives on metal, so you don't want to be passing
Yeah,
that
and you don't
thing
want
around. Allegedly, I don't know. if
Phil
that's real.
Pritchard just going around and like going to all the parties,
He
picking
wears
everything up.
gloves.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Are we saying this is in a non-pandemic world?
Yeah, so if you get your day, so at the NHL, you're not getting your day with the cup this year.
But this hypothetical is if
Hypothetical,
there's no pandemic.
if there's no pandemic, you get your day with the cup. What are you doing with it? Mike, go first.
I wish I had a more like cool answer, but I think I'm just gonna be pretty basic. I think I'm gonna go home to Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it down to the ship and anchor. I'm gonna have all my close family and friends.
You
and
take it to
we're
the
just-
mountains?
We're just gonna We're just
No?
gonna get really drunk, and we're gonna drink out of the cup, and it's gonna be maybe take it down. Ship and anchor's on 17th Ave. That's where all the bars are in Calgary. Just take it on a bit of a crawl down the street. It's good summer. The weather's nice. Just have a night like
right.
that. I was thinking my backup was like maybe go for a hike, take it to the top of a mountain, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's not as fun.
helicopter. Take a helicopter to the top of the mountain.
But it'd be cool to say you brought it to the top
Yeah, fair
yourself.
enough. You went to the top of the mountain.
Then you bring a case of beer with you, crack it up there.
How would you carry it? Would you carry it in one of those like dog and or like baby things?
I'd have people. I wouldn't be carrying it. I'd have people with me. I'd be like, I won this. You guys are carrying the cup up.
Okay.
There's a lot of potential for disaster there too.
Phil's got to carry the cup up, doesn't he? The keeper?
It's gonna be a
don't
tough
know.
day for him.
Yeah,
I
Phil's
don't know how
gonna
that works.
Yeah.
just the case strapped to his back. Aaron, what are you doing with the cup?
I mean, I think I would put on my own little parade. I
Yeah.
think I'd rent
Yeah.
I'd rent a convertible.
In Newmarket?
I'd go JFK. I'd sit in the back seat. Yeah, I know that was yeah, I'd just make it a parade. I'd be waving to people on Newmarket's Main Street during the day, and I'd be driving down Main Street and then go to my house, probably have a barbecue with all my family, and then at night I would take it. I mean, this isn't a perfect world, so obviously the office pub is still open.
Yeah.
I would go to the office pub. I'd rent out that entire floor,
And just sing karaoke to
and
the
I
cup?
just sing karaoke with the cup,
yeah.
and I just have it on stage with me, and everybody would get to do a little duet with Lord Stanley.
I believe
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
the Office pub is no more.
That's what I
Yeah.
just said. This is in a perfect world.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's a perfect world,
I
but the
think-
office pub still exists.
Nah.
I'm sure.
That's
I'm
heartbreaking to
sure
me.
that that space will be another bar. But
It's too good.
Well,
It's
there's
so-
Unless
also-
it's going to be a
bars on,
condo
like,
because they're
both-
turning everything into condos downtown.
I know it because there's like bars, but I think it just the office pub
it's just
specifically
too
closed.
well set up.
Yeah.
Like it's a perfect bar setup.
Yeah.
It is a little bit weird with the 3 levels, I
Yeah.
find, but
I
that one floor is a perfect bar setup.
I like it though. You got like it's like a different vibe on it. It's
Yeah,
like
the-
what
the
do you
first
want?
floor is depressing.
The first floor is like people sitting like
like if
eating
you're gonna
meals.
eat, yeah.
The top floor turns into like a weird nightclub.
I've never been up to the top.
And then the
I
middle
have,
floor is
but
just
it's
like
never like packed.
like because why would you not want to be on the second
Yeah,
floor?
the second floor is where it's at.
That's just the perfect place.
Remember our boy Phil who was there singing the karaoke and like he wore like shorts and like high socks to the bar? Do you
know
remember
his-
this guy?
His name was Phil.
No, I called him Phil. He looked like Phil
Okay.
Castle.
Oh yeah, was that the
Yeah.
guy that was?
He was crushing it, and he like he loved you.
yeah, of
Anyways.
course. I'm.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I'm
surprised you wouldn't take it down to the local.
Now you're infringing on
there's
my
too
answer
many-
here.
Oh,
There's
here
too
we
many.
go.
There's
Sorry.
too many
I stole-
ruffians
I
down
stole
there.
your thunder. No, you
My-
read to know.
My hypothetical, I'm gonna take. Obviously, during the day, you got to take it to your hometown. So I'm gonna take it to Oakville during the day. Maybe take it downtown Oakville. Have the kids can come take pictures with it.
And then you have for the adults.
Soon, as soon as the clock strikes 6 o'clock, it is
Yeah.
done. I'm
Cinderella.
getting on the QEW, going right down to the local
Are you
pub
getting
down the
Are
street.
you getting a limousine? What are you doing? Are you driving it yourself?
No, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna run with the cop down the street.
Okay.
You're gonna pull a Connor.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna walk. Yeah, so I'll get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Anyway, so that night I'm gonna go to the local pub with the cup, Etobicoke local. Shirley's gonna love it. Hopefully, there's gonna be no fights this night because I'm not renting it out. I'm just
you want the grit
I'm-
and the, and
I
the
am
grind. I
showing
love
up.
it. I love it.
unannounced with the cop
Yeah.
at the local.
Some of those guys are just gonna drop dead just from seeing it in there. The
Yeah.
real cop.
Oh yeah, like
Ray.
Stone Cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stone Cold is drinking out of that thing.
Yeah.
You know he is.
Gotta be careful. You know a lot of the
And he's gonna
local
chirp-
people watch this
Fair
podcast.
enough. Yeah,
He's
this
gonna
is probably
ch-
going to be on in
He's
the
gonna
local
chirp,
right
He's
now.
gonna chirp you for what you drink out of it too.
Oh,
Like, what is that? What is that fucking Coors Light? It's not a real beer. You should be having an IPA.
That's
in
a
there.
fair chirp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't beer shame personally. That's just me.
I don't either, but
I think beer shamers.
I just
are
don't. I just think light beers taste like ass.
I just think
I
beer-
enjoy a light beer.
I do too, and I think beer shamers are just trying to find a personality.
Yeah, that's
They're
your.
like, I'm an
that's your
IPA
character.
guy. Like
Yeah.
that's who
All
you
right,
are
man.
now. Like you, okay, like that's your entire personality.
Yeah.
Like cool, but
Like I don't. Yeah, it's a weird thing for me to just look at somebody and be like, oh, well, sick Miller Lite.
yeah,
dude.
it's like not you're not drinking it.
Yeah,
Why
what-
do you give a
like-
shit?
yeah, I don't make fun of it
leave me
for
alone.
like because it's light. I make fun of it because it tastes
Yeah,
like shit.
fair.
I like the. Taste.
I do too. I love it. But
Dude, like a Bud Light is gross.
I'm not a big fan of Bud Light.
An
but,
ice cold Bud Light at the Bills
I think,
tailgate.
but like Molson is gross too. I think.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
a big fan of
It's
Molson
pretty
either.
disgusting. Kokanee is the worst. The worst.
That's like that's not a thing
I've
here.
never
I know
Yeah.
it's so. It's
It's like
I've
you're
never
like,
had a Coke.
It's like on par with Canadian in
Yeah.
the West.
Pabst is shit.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Pabst
it's-
is the
it-
worst.
But it's dirt cheap.
Pilsner. If I was gonna get anything cheap, it's
I
Pilsner
like
for me.
Pabst better than Canadian and Bud Light.
I don't like Canadian that much. I don't like the aftertaste.
I actually think Pabst tastes better.
Budweiser's better than Canadian.
I'd take a Bud all day.
Yeah.
Budweiser might be my favorite beer. I hate to say it because people judge me.
I'm a Miller
Stop
Lite guy.
judging me.
Miller
Out of,
Lite's
like,
my
the-
favorite.
Miller
beer.
Lite, Miller Lite.
Out of the basic beers, like Coors Banquet is the best.
Banquet's good. It's not called Banquet anymore. It's Coors Original.
That's what it's called to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't even know where we were. You were talking about the local.
I think we're done.
yeah. Anyways,
Did you just turn it off?
No.
I was like, I think we're done.
yeah.
Podcast over.
So yeah, you just heard us all talk about our days with the cup. And, join us next week for Name on the Front to tell you what's up.